Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. I haven't done anything for you to be proud of.
Of course you have. You are marrying a man who can support you.
I am officially back. I know I've been gone for a while. I went to go see my family, and then when I got back, I got sick, and I've been sick ever since. I'm still recovering, but I wanted to come on here and I wanted to talk about this 4B movement that I've been seeing all up and down my timeline. And I have to give the biggest eye roll because it's so many women being loud and not knowing to move in silence. And I think the reason why women are being loud about the 4B movement is because you want men to care. Like, you want them to care. And now it's 4B movement versus the 5B movement because men have came up with that. And it's drizzle, soft guy era. It's just bullshit to me. Like, honestly, I just have to be honest with you. It's bullshit. Women that are really about it, we don't come online loud about it. Like, we just do what's best for us. We have already taken our power back and we're just doing and living our lives the way that we want to, on our own terms, in the way that we want to. We don't need to come online and like be loud about it to try to one up a group of men that we're not even focused on like that. Like, I think that's where my annoyance comes in with this. And also, as a woman, like, if you truly know your worth and you truly know your power and you know your value, you know that you have 100% control over your life, your decisions, who you allow in your personal space, who you allow in between your legs, who you allow to have access to your womb, who you allow to experience you, who you allow to be a part of your life. You have 100% power over all of that. So like the 4B movement, I don't know. It's just like another movement that is extremist. And it doesn't align with my spirituality at all, because in order for you to be in alignment, you have to be balanced. And when you take the extremist approach, it takes you out of alignment. It takes you out of balance, and you're not truly on path. And I think that's like the biggest issue that I have with this movement. It's just women talking too damn much. And I really feel like it's because they want a reaction from men. And I don't know what it's going to take for women to come to the realization that the men you want to care will never care. They don't give a fuck. Like, they don't care. The ones that you want to care don't care. So this chatting, like, let's actually be proactive. Let's close the legs. I said that like last year, the year before that, I said close the legs. That's being proactive. I'm tired of the movements, honestly. Like, I'm so tired of the movements because it's just women talking. Like, be proactive. If you're really about it, then be about it. Like, you should be living it. It shouldn't be, oh, let's have a conversation. Like, let's hop online and let's create like another discourse. Like, I'm all discoursed out with this. Like, I want to see change. I want to see forward movement. I'm tired of the same recycled, tired conversations. Either you on the pot and you about to take your shit, or you need to move out the way and let somebody else go, because you're taking too long. Like, your life is passing you by. Like, how much longer do you think you really have? Like, you should already be about it. Like, the 4B movement shouldn't even be like, oh my God, like, I need to be on. You should have been on it. Like, where have you been this entire time? I'm really confused. And this is coming from a woman that naturally falls into the movement because I'm simply focusing on myself. And I'm not online being loud about it because men don't care. And I think like that's what women need to understand. Like just do what is best for you and like stop trying to get their attention, to try to get their reaction. Like, let me see if they care. They don't fucking care. And why would you want them to? I don't get it. I don't get it. And that's all I see is women online like talking in hopes that men come and they say or they like tell you what you want to hear. I don't know. I don't know what you expect from them. I don't know what you expect, but you're gonna be waiting your entire life. You are. So it's like either you about it or you not about it. And at this point, I'm just getting tired of people talking. I am. I'm tired. I've already talked about my abstinent from sex. Like I've been abstinent from sex for about 3 years now, 3.5 years now. I don't have any kids. Don't care about kids. The kid thing for me, it's the economy. Like it don't even have nothing to do with these men. It don't. It's the economy. It's the school system. It's how the workforce doesn't really support working moms. It don't have nothing to do with men, like at all. And then also another thing with, I think the other no is no to marriage. A lot of these men are not marriage minded. They don't really offer a safe environment for women. And it's not just physical. Like that's my issue with men generally. Like they only focus on the physical protection. They don't focus on the emotional. They don't want to focus on the financial protection because we live in a capitalist society. In order for you to live in a safe environment, you have to have money, but they make that a big deal. Like you're a gold digger. So, I mean, I could just go on and on, like logical reasons that don't involve being an extremist. Why? Like, it's just not a good idea. Like, honestly, like I can give you a list of reasons why it's just not a good idea. But I am here for people who do find someone that they trust to create a family with. I'm not against that. I will never be against community. I will never be against family. Like I'm never going to go against that. So I don't know. I think it really comes down to your personal situation because life is situational. You can meet somebody tomorrow. He could be a really great guy and I'm going to be happy for you. If you want to have children, I hope that you seek purpose in having a child. Like you're not just having a child just to have a child. Like you're having a child to create an adult that will help change the world. Like I hope like you're going into motherhood with that purpose in mind, not just, oh, I need to have a child because I need somebody to take care of me when I get old. Like I hope you go into it with the purpose that, oh, okay, I'm creating this child to make or to help the world become a better place. That's the only reason I see motherhood for women. Like it shouldn't just be, oh, that's just the next part of my life. Like I'm just going to go ahead and have a child. Like I really hope that you're making it purposeful and you are creating a young human being that can help better the world. But outside of that, like I'm not against not having children. I think children can be a beautiful experience. I think children can be a blessing when you have a village, when it's in the right situation, when it's with the right person. So I'm never going to be against that. I mean, how else are we going to continue on with the human race? So I'm for people coming together in a healthy union, in a healthy dynamic, in a healthy situation. If it's healthy, I'm here for it. I'm just like, I just think about what the future is, and it involves community. Like it involves children, it involves family, it involves coming together in union with other people. And you can decide how you want that to look. It does not have to be a man and a woman. It does not have to be a marriage for you. Like it could be like maybe you're a single woman and you just created a community for yourself and that's it. You don't want to have kids, fine. Like I'm not against that. But I just feel like there needs to be more balance with this type of stuff because it's not in alignment at all. Like it's so out in the wild somewhere. Like I'm just like, can y'all come back a little bit, come back in a little bit? like come back in just a little bit. The only thing that I asked was for women to raise their standards, and that is a form of protection for you as a woman. So if you don't have a village, I wouldn't have children. If like, and when I say a village, like a supportive family, you need a supportive family if you're going to raise kids. And if you don't have that, I would think twice about it. Also, the whole like no sex thing. I feel like for me personally, my experience with sex, and I can only speak for myself, I got sick and tired of feeling like men that I would share my body with was draining my energy. Like, honestly, like I would be doing so well in life. I'd be like, like doing so well in life. And then there would be a man that would come in. I start giving my body to that man, and I would just feel drained. Like I would have no energy. I would feel like this particular person that I was sharing my body with was draining my energy. So I decided that I was going to refrain from having sex because I don't want to experience that. Like I want a different experience. I feel like if you have sex with a person, you're supposed to feel charged, energetic, like you're supposed to get like some type of creative spark or something. So I refrain from sex for that very reason, but that's because I have the experience and I don't want to have that same experience moving forward. So I decided to not have sex. So that's just my choice. It don't really have anything to do with, oh my God, I don't like men. Like, oh my God, I can't stand. It has everything to do with me. It ain't about these men. It's me. Okay. So I refrain from having sex for that reason because I would feel drained. Like, honestly, I would feel so drained. I would slack on the gym. I would slack on my goals. I would slack on my desires. I would slack on my hobbies. So I would just rather refrain from having sex because the gain that I get from not having sex is much more important to me than having sex and feeling depleted, honestly. And then the marriage thing, I feel like everyone is going to feel differently about the marriage thing. I do. I look at marriage as a business. That's how I look at marriage. I'm talking about the legal document. I look at it as a business. Now, the union itself, community, right? Like a man and a woman coming together. Okay. But realistically, I look at marriage as a business. So I think that that is just how I look at it because that's just how the system is set up. So if you're thinking about getting married, think of a business partner. Would you want to do business with that person? If the answer is no, I wouldn't do it. Simple as that. I would not do it. And you have to start thinking like that because it's not like it used to be where automatically you could assume that the man is going to be making more than you. Like there are women out here that have a great income and you could lose a lot if you were to get married, and you should really think twice about it. And you should look at marriage as a business because that's what you're getting yourself into. And it's not even just women, it's men too. Like you should look at it as going into business with a person. And do you feel like that person is a good business partner? Do they manage their money well? Do they invest their money well? Do they have a decent income that you can work with when it comes to your lifestyle, the choice of lifestyle that you prefer? I mean, those are just questions that you should ask yourself. Yeah, it's a business. Exactly. It's a business. That's why you have to go to court, literally. I feel like the wrong man will drain your energy. I do. I feel like the wrong man will drain your energy. And I came across this video of breaking the cycle of coming into contact with the same man. Okay. Like if you keep coming in contact with the same man, and when I mean man, I mean like energy, it's because you idolize men to a certain degree. Like you put them above yourself. You put them above God. And that's why you keep bumping into the same guy. Like if you would stop idolizing them, if you would stop putting them above God, like becoming so man obsessed to the point where you're more focused on the man over your spiritual relationship, yeah, like you're gonna keep bumping into the same guy. Like I just came across a video and this woman, she explained it so well, like on TikTok, and it's so true. Like you're gonna keep bumping into the same energy and it's not gonna change. You're gonna keep bumping into the same energy over and over and over and over again. And when you keep bumping into the same energy and you haven't bumped into a different energy, then it's time for you to self-reflect and it's time for you to take some accountability on what you may be doing. And it may be like lack of self-worth, putting others before yourself, maybe centering men too much. Maybe you may not feel desperate, but maybe like there's a part of you that is desperate when it comes to getting into a relationship. I mean, if you keep bumping into the same guy, right, energetically, it may be you. It may be. It may be you. And the reason why I say that is because after a while, you shouldn't even allow the same man near you because you already know what he's about. You've dealt with it before. You've seen this before. You already know how it's going to play out. So after a while, like if you keep allowing the same type of guy in your personal space, you got to look at yourself. You do. You have to start looking at yourself because it's like, why do I keep allowing the same energetic guy in my personal space? I should be able to spot a similarity in the man that I'm dealing with before he even gets close to me. Seriously. Like you'll see the signs. Like they will be so clear. They will mirror what you've dealt with before. And instead of you just cutting it off right there and then, it's like you prolong the relationship, you prolong the situation just to see like, oh, is it really like is he really like that? Or I don't understand. I'm not saying stay silent on the issue. I'm saying we've talked enough. We've literally talked enough. Like at some point, women need to start being proactive. We've talked so much. Like I'm tired of talking. Like you should be at a point where you should be doing. The 4B movement in Korea was not something that we in the West needed because we should have already been proactive about doing it. Like we shouldn't even be inspired by them to this degree because we should have already been proactively doing it. That's my issue with the talking. It's not about being silent, like, oh, we should never talk about this. No, like we should be about it. Like it should be like an unwritten or unspoken act. It should not be like we need to keep talking about it. What else do you need to talk about? Men have shown you. They keep showing you. What else is there to talk about? Like there's nothing else to talk about. It's you. And that's the thing. We're at a point where you need to start doing some shit. Like you need to actually start being proactive. You need to start changing your life. You like the talking, like when are you actually going to get to the place that you're trying to go? If you're just going to keep talking, you at stage 1. We should be at stage 5. We should already be at stage 5. We should not be at stage 1 where the Korean 4B movement, the Korean women in the 4B movement are coming to us like trying to make it seem like they introducing us to a new way of living. You should have already been doing it. Like I just like, where have women been at this entire time? We've heard these men talk on these podcasts. We've seen how toxic they can be in their way of thinking. We see how some of them feel about women. What else is there to talk about? And I feel like a lot of Black women have already been practicing this, honestly. I feel like the movement for the 4B movement, it should be a shock to who? White women? It shouldn't be a shock to us. That's why I'm like, what have we been doing this entire time where we're just so taken back by this 4B movement? What have we been doing this entire time? If anyone should be shocked, it should be white women. That's it. It should not be us. And I don't even know why we're taking on this movement. And that's the thing that like irritates me about the situation. It's like Black women have been doing this because we've been left with no choice, right? And we've been gaslit and we've been told that we're undesirable. That's what we've been told. Like, nobody wants us, right? So, like, why is this a shock to us? It shouldn't be. Not to Black women, white women. Of course, they have to be inspired by a movement they didn't create. But us, like, come on. Like, that's another irritation for me. Like, it's like, we've been doing this. This is not a shock. Korean women ain't doing nothing that we ain't been doing. We just got, I feel like we just got such negative responses from people. They're being embraced. But when it's a Black woman doing it, when we do it, when we wear the acrylic nails, when we wear the weave, when we wear the makeup, when we dress a certain way, it's a problem. So that's another this is why I'm irritated, because I'm just like, Black women been doing this. This is nothing new. Korean women did. I'm sorry, but Korean women didn't create this. I'm sorry. Black women did. And that's just me being honest with you. Okay. It's just, we always got such a negative response from other women. Oh, it's because nobody wants you. Oh, it's because you're bitter. Oh, it's because you're a baby mama. That's my favorite. Oh, it's because you're a single mother. Oh, it's because you're just not attractive enough. My favorite. You're not feminine enough. Remember? Like, have we not forgotten? I just, that's what I'm saying. Like, the 4B movement is not new. The 4B movement is not new at all. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's not. It's not. I've seen too many women, Black women, that have gotten just, I don't know, like, no, 4B, let's get into the 4B movement. But it's just true. That's why I'm just like, why are Black women sitting up here acting like this is new and, oh my God, like we need to start doing. Oh my gosh. I don't get that, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't get it. But let's get into this, because she's about to explain to you what it means.
4B movement. The 4B movement.
The 4B movement.
The 4B movement.
Shut up. 4B movement.
Be alone.
And your movement.
So a new feminist movement is taking root here in the United States, and it came out of Korea. It's known as the 4B movement, where women are saying no to 4 things: dating men, having sex with men, marrying men, and having children with them. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. The future of the human race apparently may depend on it. Let's talk about the 4B movement. Now, as I said at the top of this video, this is a movement that came out of South Korea that apparently women are adhering to. And they're adhering to the idea of saying 4 no's, again, to dating men, having sex with them, marrying them, and having children with them. Now, all of these 4 no's have Korean words that start with the letter B, and that's.
And so my thoughts on this is that Black women were called bitter for having this mindset. That's why I'm irritated, y'all. Black women were called bitter. Black women were called undesirable. Black women were called, you're not feminine enough. Like, we were the problems. Remember? We were the problem. It wasn't the men. It was us. Remember? It took Black men putting their penis in these preferences. Let's be real. For them to realize, like, oh my gosh, it's not Black women. It's men. Really? Damn. I thought it was because we're hard to deal with. We're aggressive. We ask for too much. We don't know how to take care of a man. We don't cook and clean good enough. Maria and them do it better. That's why I'm irritated. That's why I'm just like, are we really sitting up here like, oh my God, like, yeah, the 4B, I don't give a damn about that shit. I'm sorry. I do not care at all. At all. I do not care. We were called bitter and miserable. That's what we were called. And now all of a sudden they want to come out like, oh my God, we need to start doing this. Like, oh my gosh, like we really? And it took them, listen, it took a fresh to bring a woman from China, impregnate her, dog her out, right? And then be like, oh yeah, like I don't want the kid. Like You need to get rid of it. Black women been dealing with this for years, generations. Like, what are we doing? Talking about 4B. 4B, we've been here. But that's what it took. It took a fresh type of man from Fresh and Fit to go out here, impregnate, bring a woman from a foreign country, by the way, take her away from her family, impregnate her, and then be like, oh yeah, like, I don't want that baby. What? Oh my goodness.
That's where we get the 4B movement. Now, in this video, we are going to discuss the 4B movement, talk about how big it actually is in South Korea. But apparently, a lot of American women are getting the impression that this is a movement that is sweeping the nation, and they want it to take root here in the United States. Let's hear from some American women on TikTok who are deciding to take up the 4B movement so that they can explain it to you themselves.
I'm so glad you asked. The 4B movement is a movement in South Korea right now where the misogyny and sexism is so bad that South Korean women have decided to opt out of dealing with men entirely. That is not a joke. That is not an exaggeration. They are not dating men. They are not marrying men. They are not having children with men. They're not even sleeping with men anymore. And it's called the 4B movement because the Korean words for those four things all start with the letter B. This kind of first started happening around 2016 when Kim Ji-young, born 1982, a novel came out. And it is a fictional book about a Korean every woman and all of the misogyny and sexism that she's experienced from literally being a child all the way to her being an adult, suffering with postpartum depression after having her child. Now, this book became a runaway bestseller among South Korean women because they were like, she's just like me for real. And that's kind of when it started cooking, right? Now, the movement officially got its name in 2019, and it's just been going ever since. It's so successful, in fact, that now South Korea has one of the lowest birth rates in the world. The number of deaths in South Korea outnumber the number of births in South Korea. And it's hilarious because all the men and the government are like, oh my God, what do we do? They don't want to like talk to us. They don't want to.
I got to stop her right there because she's spreading false information. The real reason why Korean women are not having children is because of the economy. Okay? Which I feel like every American woman should be taking notes. It shouldn't be about these men at all. Like, it really shouldn't. It should be about the economy. It really should be about the economy. It shouldn't be about men. Thank you, B. Taylor. It should not be about men. Like, it should literally be about the economy. It does not make any sense. So I'm going to share this video that I saw because it's really not about these men. Like, it's about the economy. And I think a lot of American women can relate to these women in Korea.
이 한국이란 사회는 혼자서도 각박한데 2인을 어떻게 만들어?
학원에서 날 키웠다.
제가 이 현실을 몰랐다면 나왔을 텐데 교육계에 있다 보니까 얼만큼 투자해야지 얼만큼 나오는지 알잖아요. 100점인데? 100점인데?
약자가 될 수 없는 밖에 없는 길을 왜 굳이 가겠어요?
껍질 너무 두껍게 깎는 거 아니에요? 노동이 너무 힘들어요. 그러니까 저는 노동을 좋아하거든요. 근데 한국에서는 노동이 어려워요. 이게 거의 쳇바퀴처럼 굴러가는 일상이고 주말에는 진짜 링거 맞고 누워있는 정도로 삶을 유지해야 되는
그러니까 나랑 아까 지금 흉내낼 같다고 생각했는데
직장을 그만두는 여성들이 정말 많다. 아이 때문에. 메인 아나운서들도 애를 낳으러 갈 때 직업을 포기하고 가는구나. 그리고 다시 돌아오지 않거든요. 나도 저렇게 아이를 낳으러 갈 때 직장을 포기해야 되는 걸까? 이거 30리터라고.
30리터.
어때?
이걸로 절대 안 돼요. 저 이거 런던 20일 갈 때도 이거에 2개였어요.
이거 뉴질랜드로 가게 된 이유는 뉴질랜드가 성차별 임금이 가장 낮은 여성의 인권이 좀 높은 순위에 들어가다 보니까 한국에서도 살아남았는데 외국 나가서 왜 못 살겠어? 여기보다 더 지옥이 있을까 싶기도 해요.
짠.
조그만 아이들은 너무 귀여워요. 아이들의 귀여운 모습을 보면 낳고 싶다가도 어떻게 교육을 해야 되는지 그거를 이제 가르친 사교육계 입장으로서는 너무 먼 산이다. 진짜 다 맞았네. 와, 웰던. true, 어딨지? 그렇지. 그러니까 아이들 영수 기본 하잖아요. 영수만 기본 해도 거의 60 나가죠. 돈 얘기 다 해야 돼? 돈 얘기 해야 돼? 발레, 태권도, 운동.
Not yet. 아직.
아이를 키운다는 것은 엄마가 전적으로 그 아이한테 헌신해야 되고 사랑을 줘야 되는데 저는 아직까지는 그릇이 부족한가 봐요. 저는 제가 더 좋아요. 만약에 집에서 아이만 본다면 굉장히 우울할 것 같아요. 오, 누구한테 배웠어? 잘했네. 와, 이게 뭐야? 악기?
굉장히 이제 고립된 육아를 하게 됐죠. 쉽지 않았고 도움을 받을 수 있는 것도 많이 없었고 또 남편은 일이 많은 사람이었고
How much of the childcare and the housework do you do compared to your husband?
제가 한 3-4배는 많이 하는 것 같은데요. 저는 이미 교육받기를 남녀는 평등하다는 교육을 받고 자란 세대니까 이 현실이 너무 받아들여지지 않고 나도 공부할 만큼 했고 집에서 아이만 키워야 되다니 하는 분노도 갖게 되고.
Do you understand why women now are choosing not to have children?
당연히 그 선택을 안 하죠. 자기는 일을 잃게 되고 아이 키우는 거는 오직 자기의 몫이 되는 이 사회 구조 속에서 약자가 될 수 없는 밖에 없는 길을 왜 굳이 가겠어요?
What is the biggest thing that needs to change here in South Korea to make this more appealing for women?
노동 시간의 단축인 것 같아요. 한국은 정말 전 세계적으로 막 길게 일하는 나라잖아요. 안 쉬고 길게 일하는 나라. 뭔가 조금 여유를 가질 수 있는 시간이 되는 문화가 일단은 그게 제일 먼저라는 생각이 들고 두 번째는 이 아이를 같이 키울 수 있는 누군가의 도움을 받을 수 있는 제도가 전 너무 필요하다고 생각해요.
Y'all, that's the reason why I don't have kids. It don't have nothing to do with these men. I could meet a man tomorrow, love him to death, and I would still feel unsure. There are plenty of people in relationships, in marriage, that are hesitant about having kids in this economy. Okay? Like, no English. I'm sorry. You would have to read the subtitles. But like, I think that's a good enough reason. I don't think men need to be the reason. Like, just like if you meet a man tomorrow, or if you decide to get with a woman, right? Would you want to have a child? Like, in this economy, it doesn't make any sense. Like, that's where I'm at. It don't have nothing to do with these men. It has everything to do with my well-being, my sanity, my mental health, and then also, like, what kind of lifestyle would I get this child? I think those things matter more than making it about men. Like, we just live in a society. We live in an economy. The workforce, it doesn't support working women. It doesn't support women with children. It doesn't. So that's where I'm at with this. Like, it don't have nothing to do with these men, y'all. I'm sorry. It don't have nothing to do with them. Okay. And I felt like that was a good reason as to why Korean women are not having children. It makes sense to me. It's logical. It's not extremist. It's not extremist at all. It's more logical, and it makes a lot of sense why they wouldn't want to put themselves in a position where they're just completely burnt out and they're placed at a disadvantage in their relationship, in their family. Like, it just doesn't make sense for them to do that. And I think every woman, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, that's something that you need to sit down and really consider. And I don't think having children in today's age is like an easy decision to make. I think it's something that you really have to think long and hard about. You really do. Okay, let me go back to the other video.
They say, what do we do? Like, everything's in shambles. We don't know what to do. When South Korean women have been very clear from day one, they're like, hey, either you get your act together or we are literally eliminating all of this. Like, we are shutting it down. So that's the 4B movement and why I'm so obsessed with it and why I think we should have the 4B movement everywhere. Thanks for listening.
Now, that video has nearly 560,000 likes on it, mostly from American people. Let's read a few of the comments. Let's take the 4B movement worldwide. That's funny. I've been doing the 4B movement all my life without knowing. Hee hee. So you get the gist of the picture that's being painted here. The 4B movement is sweeping South Korea because of misogyny and sexism. And because of the 4B movement, the South Korean birth rate is at a record low. We're going to talk a little later on about the fact that that might not even be the case, but it doesn't really matter because TikTok and social media has picked up the narrative, and now American modern day feminists are running with it. This video says 4B movement has arrived in the US, and I'm here for it. How do y'all feel about it?
He hates you. They hate us. Men do not like us. Be alone. That's really the only other option. Just be alone, look in the mirror, sit with yourself, cry, have an ego death, and then get really hot, get a bunch of hobbies. It could be extremely successful, and write a fucking book or something. Just be alone. Oh my God. It is so much better than being with someone who hates your ass.
Or here's a novel like.
Okay, now this, y'all, that's delusional. I just have to be honest with you. That is delusional. And that's when you know you have male-centered yourself as a woman, like to an extremist standpoint. And the reason I say this is because you are now refusing yourself of a desirability that you have. And I'm tired of women doing that shit. If you know, and only you know, deep down, you know this. Do you want to be with a man? Yes or no? Do you want companionship? Yes or no? It's a simple question. Do you want companionship? Do you really want to be by yourself? I'm asking. I'm waiting for the comments because I really want to know. I really do. Because I don't believe that shit, y'all. I don't believe that women want to be alone. Like, I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I don't believe that at all. Do you really, truly want to be alone? Take marriage out of it. Take kids out of it. Take the family life out of it. Do you really want to be by yourself? That's what I want to know. Because I don't believe that. Yes, Afro Butterfly. That is so true. That is the girl. Yes. Thank you for that. Yes. And take out your past experiences. Take out, like, if you met a guy that was healthy, would you rather choose the man that's healthy or be by yourself? It's a yes or no question. We're not going off of your past experiences that were negative. We're not going off of what you think any potential man could bring to your life. Like, literally, if you met a healthy man tomorrow and he was healthy and you had to make that decision to either be by yourself or to be with that man, what would you choose the man or would you choose to stay alone? Okay, most women are going to choose the man that's healthy. Most women are going to choose the man that's healthy. And I feel like that's like my issue with this is if you really could choose a healthy partner for yourself that could bring you companionship, you would choose that. Why? Because that's your desires. You wouldn't deny yourself of that desire when you truly love yourself. Okay? Like, that's what I need women to understand. It's about you. You desire it. And when you love yourself, you're not going to deny yourself of that desire, right? Now, this is where things get a little tricky. A lot of women don't love themselves and will choose to put themselves in a relationship with a man that's not healthy. Okay? And so what I want women to do is switch your belief system around a little bit because it's giving scarcity mindset. If you know that that is your true desire, right? You will believe that, okay, I love my alone time. I prefer it over being with a toxic individual. I prefer it rather than being around toxic family. I prefer it than rather being in a toxic environment, right? If I have to choose myself, I will choose myself every single time if I have to. But if there is a healthy guy out there that can give me companionship, which is something that I know I truly desire, because I love myself, I would give myself that opportunity to experience that companionship because I love myself. because it's something that I truly desire. That's all I'm saying. But I don't think a woman should ever compromise her well-being, her mental health, her body, like allowing a man to cheat and all that and stay. Like, I think we need to be more healthy in our way of thinking. Like, okay, if I need to choose myself because it's truly rooted in my well-being, I will do that and I will be alone. Okay. But to just live in scarcity where it's like, oh, I'll never find anyone that's healthy. I'm just going to be alone. Men don't like me. Men don't like us as women. Like, I don't believe in that. I don't believe like women truly believe that. I think they're speaking from a place of hurt, and they're speaking from a place of really bad experiences from their past, which is understandable. I'm not here to dismiss that, but I want women to truly ask themselves, like, is that something that you truly desire? And are you willing to deny yourself of that desirability because you've been hurt in the past? That's something I want women to think about. And I think that's a better approach than to just assume every man that you come into contact with is just going to do you in like the last one did, or the one before that, or the one before that, or the one before that. I think companionship is important. Like, that's how incels are created. They don't have any human socialization, interaction, nothing. Like, they don't have anyone they can talk to. Like, they don't have anyone. And companionship doesn't even have to be with a man. Companionship can be with a woman. Companionship could be with a friend. But I don't believe that women want to be alone. I don't believe that. I think women want to be in companionship with someone that sees them as valuable, that will cherish them and respect them, with a person that has integrity. And I have to say, with a person that has integrity. So I think that like we need to like make that clear, because when you put that out and you speak that over your life, that's what you're attracting, you know? So you have to be careful about that. But only you know if that is something that you truly desire. I'm not going to know that. Only you will know that. And it's your choice to make that decision for yourself. But if you truly want to be by yourself, I don't see anything wrong with that. But let's continue.
Idea. Maybe find a man who doesn't hate you and date that man. They do exist, even though you're not allowed to say not all men these days here in the United States. But I digress. Let's watch some more.
It's so crazy that I am just now finding out what the 4B movement is, because me and the other women in my life, we've been on that. We've been on the 4B movement. We've been on the 4C movement. What are you talking about? So I think that the 4B movement, if it's not already evident, it's going to make its way to the United States. It's very interesting. The men are already begging. Women are waking up in the droves, in the hundreds. I see more liberating content for women. The collective consciousness is at its all-time high, and it's only going to keep growing. Like, that 4B movement is making its way pretty soon. And ladies, we got to strategize, okay? I'm making a Twitch to strategize because men begging now, but they're going to try to do more drastic things as they get tired.
I'll be the first to say I would love to be in a strategy meeting for the 4B movement, because I have no idea what the that means. And it's interesting.
Also, I have to be honest with you. The 4B movement in the West, the number one reason why it's not going to be successful, we don't get along. Like, I just got to be honest with y'all. Like, we don't get along with other women. All right? We don't get along with other women like that. Shit, we can speak on the Black women's empowering space. We don't get along with other women. So it's going to fail. All right? Like, y'all can keep making it about men. You don't even like your girlfriend. Like, you don't like the girl. Like, you don't like her. Like, you can't stand her ass for whatever reason. I don't know. Hell, there's people that don't like me. They don't even know me like that, but they don't like my ass. Like, it's not going to be successful because we don't even get along with other women. All right? Just throwing that out there. Just got it. That's why I want women to just focus on themselves and do what is best for them. Because we barely get along with each other. Like, that's just me being honest. It's so much pettiness, passive aggressive, projecting insecurities on the next woman, body shaming. I've seen a lot of that. Judging the next woman because she don't have a particular handbag, telling a woman, you know, them shoes don't really go with that outfit. Or that bag really, you don't like women like that. Like, I'm sorry. There are plenty of women out here that really don't like women like that. I'm sorry. Like, you don't even know how to get along with women, let alone get along with a man. So I don't know. It's not going to be successful. This is why women's empowering brunches suck. This is why those brunches have never been truly successful and in masses like they should be. Because the only time we can really come together and get along is when we bash men. Like, that's the only time we get along. When we be sitting up here bash, girl, he ain't shit. I can't stand his ass. Like, I really don't. That's the only time we actually get along. That's it. But if we talking about some other shit, like, I don't know what we prefer. Like, me right now, people can't stand me because of my opinion regarding this. Like, a woman, pretty sure. So if we can't even get along amongst each other, this movement is not going to be successful. I'm sorry. And that has been to me, the common denominator in why these movements are never truly successful, because we don't get along with each other. And we're trying to come together and create a movement to go against men. And it's not going to work because we don't get along with each other. And it's the same thing. I could even break this down like Black people, right? We're trying to fight against white supremacy, right? The reason why we've never been successful with that shit is because we don't get along with each other. Just being honest. We don't. We do not get along with each other. You got the Negroes, and then you got the ninjas, and then they just going at it back and forth. This is the reason why, like, our movements as Black people was never successful. I'm just saying. So that's why I just rather women just focus on themselves, because women really don't like other women. Like, you don't like the nature of a woman. You don't. You don't like that. You don't like it when another woman has her own thought process. You don't like when a woman has her own lifestyle choice that she's trying to choose for herself. A lot of women want a twin. Like, oh, like, you got to be doing the same thing that I'm doing. And if you're not doing the same thing that I'm doing, I don't like you. You don't allow women to be individuals and still hold space for them. You want them to be exactly like you. And that's never going to work, which is why the Black Women's Empowering Space on YouTube was a fail, because we did not facilitate a community for women to be their individual, authentic selves. We wanted them to be one way, and that was it, which is why it failed. So we can keep blaming men all day, but I'm just being honest with y'all. Like, that's the number one reason. We do not know how to hold space and facilitate a space for all women to be themselves and still get along. That's the issue. And I don't know, it could be ego, because men are not the only ones that have ego. We have it too. It could be, oh, there can only be one queen bee when there could be a whole room full of queen bees. You know what I mean? But there's always that one that's like, no, I'm the only queen bee around here. Like, it's just too much ego. So yeah, I'm always going to tell you to focus on yourself for this very reason, and to do what is best for you for this very reason, because it's very rare that you can come across a group of women and you actually get along with them. I've seen so many girls trips. I've seen so many bridesmaids fallouts. I've seen sorority sister fallouts. I mean, men are not even a part of these. Men are not even in these spaces, and we're still falling out with each other. Why? It don't even have nothing to do with a man at all, and we're still not getting along. Why? If it's really just men, why do we not get along with each other? I don't get it. I feel like I said, the only time we get along is when we bashing these men to death. Girl, you know, he ain't shit. I don't even know why you still dealing with him. You know what, girl, you right. He ain't shit. I don't even know why I was dealing with him either. Like, that's the only time we get along. We don't get along outside of that.
think that a lot of the women who are making these videos are sort of functioning from the assumption that women are already perfect. We are already the best people that we can be. And it really is that the problem and the issues are just men. They are the ones who bear the burden of everything that's wrong within the dating sphere right now. And we have no accountability to be taken. And if men are so terrible and they're truly everything that's wrong with society right now, and we don't want to touch them with a 10-foot pole, why would you need a strategy meeting for that? Seems like a pretty easy thing to adhere to. And I guess she's insinuating that men are somehow going to resort to violence if the 4B movement becomes big enough in the United States. But what man is going to come chasing after a modern day feminist who does not want him? I guess we'll see. All right, next.
Seriously, I have an honest question. Did all of us become celibate like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago? I did a year and a half ago. Like, I don't even care. Just give it 6 months and you're just like, what? Oh, ew, ew. And then like, yeah, your health is much better. Your sleep is much better. Your life is much more peaceful. So who's already been doing the 4B movement? Yeah, I haven't dated at all. My life this has been the best year of my life. Like in terms of just working on myself and my career, like, holy shit. I was thinking about that in bed last night. I was like, what was the worst time of my life and the best time of my life? I've had some very hard things happen, but as far as happiness, this is the happiest I've ever been. So anyways, the 4B stand for basically no sleeping with men. No dating them, no marrying them, no sleeping with them, no making babies with them. Who's down? Also, I'm thinking like something like we need to build a commune in the forest so that we can frolic around and do whatever the hell we want.
Ah, yes, the alternative to healthy long-term relationships and family creation. Barbie Land. In our female commune, we frolic around, we make herbal teas, we read smut books written by Colleen Hoover, and we eventually die off in one generation due to an inability to procreate. Does that not sound like a utopian dream to you? This next one says 4B movement. No sex, no babies, no dating, no marriage. If men and our capitalist, patriarchal, misogynistic society can't treat us like full human beings, stop participating in their scam. The one major question that keeps popping up in my head, or the through line that I'm finding in these videos, is
y'all, my whole irritation with this entire movement is like, it's just like another thing that we as Black women, we started, and now it's being hijacked by other races of women. Like, I think that's my biggest irritation with this, because like, it's just, it blows my mind how they feel like they have embarked on something that is new, that no one else is doing. Like that, y'all, that irritates my soul. Like, I don't know if y'all have seen those Chinese sandals. Have y'all seen the Chinese sandals that you get from the hair store that are like $1, $2? Yeah, they on TikTok like, oh my God, like you need to get these new trendy sandals. And they selling them for $10. I'm like, since when them Chinese sandals been $10? They used to be $1 to $2 at the beauty supply store. Now they selling them on TikTok for $10 because they got the palm color people on there promoting it like it's new. What? Like, girl, we've been wearing them. Like, we were wearing them in freaking middle school. Like, my mama was wearing them in the 90s. Like, that's my irritation. And Black women over here like, yes, let's come together. Da, 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 da. That's why my feminism, it will never measure up to other women. It won't. Because when it's me and I'm saying I'm being treated wrong, I'm being done wrong, this is what I'm experiencing, it falls on deaf ears. Like, no one is listening to me. No one can see me. No one can see my pain. No one can see my suffering. No one sees me and no one cares. But as soon as it's a palm-colored woman, we must all come to her aid and assist her. This is why I don't call myself a feminist. It doesn't have anything to do with men and how they view feminists. It's just, I'm always silenced. And that's my irritation. Like, it's like, oh my God, they're sitting up here like they discovered and embarked on a new journey that has never been done before. Are you serious? It's so annoying to me. Like, I'm annoyed.
Is what type of men are these women choosing to date? If you're dating somebody who doesn't treat you like a human, who hates you, who treats you like dirt, all these different things that people are saying on the internet, is there some sort of personal responsibility to take in your discernment and your choice of a partner? Because I've never had a dating experience where I've been with somebody who I felt hated me. Somehow I've managed to escape that reality in, yes, dating men. So who are y'all dating? I'm confused. The reality is that there are good men out there. I think women are either not putting in the effort to find them, not waiting to find them, and then they're giving.
Now, I have to agree with her on that, and it's an unpopular opinion as well, because lately, we've been seeing women do story times, right? And I have a story time video, and this girl, she's talking about how she met this guy off Hinge, and he ghosted her, right? They were dating, and then when things started getting serious, she was a Black woman. He was Asian. I don't know if you've seen this story time. She let this man ghost her, not once, not twice, but I think 3 times. And I'm looking at her like, girl, How is he even able to get back in contact with you after he ghosted you the first time? How is he able to come back in your life and ghost you 3 times? Why are you choosing a man that will ghost you that many times? It should have been, oh, he ghosted me once, block, next. No, she allowed this man. And that's why I like, the longer I'm listening to her story and I'm like, girl, why have you not left this situation? Why have you not left this man alone? The hell? And she kept letting him come back, kept letting him, like, until he really did her in. And I'm just like, why do women just not know how to let a person go? Like, let that man go. He is literally showing you every sign that ain't it, but you overlook it. And I'm just trying to understand women that do that, because there does need to be some accountability. No man should be able to come into your life and ghost you 3 times. No way. No way, no way, no way, no way. It's a one and done deal. It's not, oh, he came back, like we talked it out. No, he ghosted you. That's over with. Like, it's done. It's finished. He made his choice. Move on to the next. So it's like those story times be telling a lot. Like, those story times be telling on women. And it's like, girl, I can empathize with you and be like, yeah, what he did was messed up and he shouldn't have done you like that. But how is he able to do it for so long? I don't like, that's the part that I'm struggling with when it comes to these story times. And then I could understand if this was before podcasts. I could even understand if this was before social media. We weren't online having these conversations, so I could see how a woman would get played like that. But in 2024, girl, my tolerance for women that's putting up with bullshit is so thin. And the reason is because you have so many resources at the tips of your finger. There should be no reason why this man is able to play in your face like that, unless you're just being desperate, or you don't love yourself, or you're not willing to choose yourself over this guy that ain't shit. Like, it's you. Because I could understand if this was 2013, we weren't having these conversations. But in 2024, how are you able to, like, how is this happening? How? Like, it has to be something that, like, you're not doing within yourself. Like, you don't love yourself, or you have attachment issues. Maybe you have anxious attachment styles or something. Like, there's something that's missing where it's like you have so much game, you have so many resources, you even have online community support, that you shouldn't even be dealing with that shit at all. At all. Let me see if I can find the video and I'll play it.
Giving into their need for companionship and connection. And when they do give in, they're doing it with less than ideal partners. And then they're taking in that bad experience, which, yes, is valid, and projecting it onto all men and using that as a launch pad to swear themselves onto a movement that shoves men out of their lives forever. Now, how successful is this movement going to be? I don't know. I don't know that the vast majority of women can truly adhere to these 4 Bs or the 4 no's of the 4B movement. But it wouldn't be a true modern day feminist movement without leftist men hopping into the mix and encouraging it, literally encouraging their own demise. Let's watch.
I want that 4B movement to be worldwide.
This is like the final boss of feminist allies. This man wants to cut off his own bloodline in order to virtue signal to feminists. Astounding. And there's other men cheering on the 4B movement as well. And what they're advocating is that women instead become lesbians. I'm not making this up.
I would rather die than date a man. Amen, sister. Amen. I support you. I am going to never sleep with another man for the rest of my life. No sex. Amen, girl. Yes. Preach. Tell people. And if I don't sleep with any men, that means I will not be having any babies with any men. Yes, testify. Testify. And under no circumstances am I going to waste my time or my money getting married to a man. Yes, weddings are expensive, yes. I'm going to live life for me and only for me. As you should, girl.
The reason why I'm against the 4B movement is because it was a movement that Black women have already been doing. That's why. That's it. I'm Black. I've been doing this. I don't know what else to say. Been doing it. I don't need the 4B movement. Been living my life this way. Been. I don't need to follow behind a non-Black woman I don't need to do that, sis. I've been doing this shit. That's why I'm irritated with the movement. Okay. And black women that want to rally up behind them. Why? So your needs and so everything that you go through, your suffering can go on deaf ears. I'm not following behind that. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm not doing it. So if that's something you want to do, that's what you want to do. It's just not for me. Like I've been doing it. Okay, just like I've been wearing them Chinese slippers from the hair store, I will continue to wear them. It's just because it's, and I may stop wearing them now that it's trendy. It's trendy, like it's a trend. These are so cute. I'm gonna show you that video too. I don't need no damn 4B movement. Like y'all get excited about stuff and it's gaslighting. Remember when I said the world that we live in, like consistently gaslights black women on a consistent basis, and y'all just be eating it up like, oh my God, yeah, let's get excited. Like, girl, haven't you been doing this for a while now? Didn't they call you bitter for this shit? I'm pretty sure they was sitting up here calling you bitter, undesirable, nobody wants you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You weren't feminine enough, you weren't fit enough. You kept having babies by men that weren't shit. Didn't they say that? I told you, it took a black man going outside of the community like a fresh, impregnating a foreign woman, bringing her back to the United States, and then telling her like, yeah, I don't want that baby. I don't want that child. For other women to be like, oh yeah, like we need to start the 4B movement. What? I just don't, it's just a trend. They will die out soon, just like the Black Lives Matter movement. I don't take the movements online seriously. It's just another trend. What else was trending that's dying out? It was a trend not that long ago to boycott Starbucks. Is that still going on? I think it was a trend to boycott Kellogg's. Are people still eating Kellogg's cereal? I mean, it's a trend. Once the trend dies out, people move on. They move on to something else. If you really are about it, this is your real life. You're not talking about it. You don't care about a movement. You're literally just living your life as you should. But these online movements, they trend and then they come in and they go. If you're really about this, then you're really about it. Even the body positivity movement. Have you noticed? I've seen a lot of plus size girls talk about how, oh my gosh, it's starting to feel like the 90s again. They're not making clothes for plus size women like they were in the height of the body positivity movement. And it all started with Ozempic because everyone's getting Ozempic and everyone's going skinny now. Skinny is in style. And so like they really stopped making clothes for plus size women. Of course they did, because it was a trend. And they made their money. And now that it's a trend to be skinny again, they stopped making clothes for plus size women. A cause that you were very passionate about because it's your real life, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like these trends are played out to me. These movements are up 1 minute, down the next. And then the very thing that you fought so hard for, people don't even care about no more. It's really sad. Okay, let me show y'all this video. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
To access No, because let's talk about this. I have been complaining about this religiously to my friends back home that there is something wrong with all of the men that are left in the dating pool. What is this thing where like you match with someone online, you go on a few dates, you start to like this person, and then when you're like, okay, let's do this, they're like, wait a minute, did you actually think that I wanted to date you? Are you insane? I recently had this happen to me back to back 2 to 3 times, but the most bizarre has to be one of the most recent times. I was matched with this Asian guy named David back in July. And honestly, I don't even know why I told you he was Asian. It doesn't actually even matter to this story. But basically, David and I had like an immediate like animal attraction connection that was like out of this world right away. And immediately we were like, this is amazing. Let's see more of each other. I made the mistake of asking what his schedule was like. And this is where things started to fall apart because he stopped taking my phone calls, would only text me. And when I asked what was wrong, he was just like, oh, you're getting too attached. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you're asking like my schedule and stuff. And I was like, yeah, so we can link up and make plans. And he was like, yeah, but that's like too much. Like, what next? Like next week, you're gonna try to figure out how we're gonna get married. So he and I stopped talking for a few weeks after that. Then at the end of the summer, we linked up again and I went to Spain. During my trip in Spain, David was talking to me every day, sending me sexy photos and videos. We were having a grand old time in the DMs and texts. Then all of a sudden one day, ghost. Stopped responding to me, wouldn't acknowledge anything I said to him. And after I tried reaching out to him 2 days in a row, told me that I was behaving like a stalker and to take a hit, bro, and to leave him alone. So I did. He proceeded to block me on his phone, unfollow me on Instagram. And so I was like, okay, that's it. Things are done. Tell me why from September to January, David would pop up in my Instagram stories every week. I would see him watching my Instagram stories. Do you understand how bananas it is to block and delete someone, unfollow them on Instagram, and then to physically type their name in every time you want to sneak and look and watch to see what they're doing? So cut to January, I'm on Hinge. David somehow manages to rematch me. Now, what's bizarre is I saw David still connected in my matches in December. So I don't know what he's done to rematch me in January. So I go and I check my phone and I see that I'm no longer blocked. So I text him and I'm like, did you match me on Hinge? And he responds back with, yes, I did. Crickets. Like, that's it. Just, yes, I did. No follow-up. And I was like, I let it sit. I let that text sit for 1 week to see if he would say anything else. No follow-up. So I was like, okay, this is getting the better of my curiosity. I'm going to do it for the plot. I rematch him on Hinge and I'm like, hey, what's going on, buddy? He's like, hey, well, I see that you're still on here and I sent you an apology like 3 weeks after we stopped talking, but you never responded because you blocked me. So I was like, oh, okay. Long story short, we reconnected. We hung out for this whole weekend, had the most amazing weekend. His best friend was in town. All three of us hung out. When we weren't hanging out, the three of us, the two of us were like back to normal, being very, very lovey-dovey, having a grand old time. At the end of this weekend, I kid you not, I tried to pull this man into an embrace while we were walking his dog. And I'm not even joking. I literally got one of these. Like, and I, like my soul left my body. Because I was like, what is going on? And he's like, don't get attached to me. Do not get attached to me. I have never been in a situation where one person has tried so hard to get back a hold of me, to get back into my life, to rematch me on a dating website. And then when I forgive them and let them back in, then I'm told to not get attached. I went home and I was just like, I need to think, you know? The following weekend, I see that he goes out and he's clearly on a date. I don't know who with, but I message him because now I'm livid. And I'm just like, what is going on? Why are we doing this? Why did you rematch me? Why? Like, why are you back in my life? Like, I was doing okay. I had started getting better. I had started moving on. Why are you here? And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, why would you match me if you have no actual intention of dating me? And he's like, I told you, like, I thought we actually cleared this up because we did have a conversation about all the stuff that went wrong. And one of the things that he told me was that he is struggling with his emotions and he needs to like work on his self, and he has anger management problems because of what his ex did to him. And he's trying to get better. But yeah, he does hope that one day he's going to find someone who's going to give him butterflies and be able to fix him. And when I told him how messed up an ideal that was, he was like, no, I'm half joking. I don't really mean that, but I do have a lot of things that I'm working through, so I'm not really in a state to date anybody. And I was just like, but then you went through all that effort to literally match me on a dating website to date me, so make it make sense. And he started acting like I was the insane one, and he was just like, I've already told you I'm not in a position to date anyone. And I was like, then why are you on this website? And he was like, I don't know. I don't know why I'm on there, because I do want to find someone, but at the same time, I don't want to find someone. I'm also very confused too, but I do know that I can't like be with you, and you like already expect too much, and you're already too attached. So like, I need to like do my own thing, and you need to go do your own thing too. I don't know. I just don't know what to do anymore. I think it's just time to abandon this planet and maybe just find men on Mars.
Men have just turned dating apps into like an easier way to access Venus.
Why didn't she block him the first time? I'm about to start a series titled Sis, You Didn't Block Him? Sis, you didn't block him fast enough. I just don't understand. Like, all of that could have been prevented. All of that was preventable to me. I'm sorry. Because what? Like, girl, he should have been blocked the first time. She let this man come back and play with her again and again and again. And it's like, and now she has this mindset off of this one guy that she allowed to play with her, not once, not twice, but 3 times, right? Now it's, oh, like, we need to go to Mars and get men. Girl, what? Girl. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, there are more and more women needing to take some accountability, because like, ain't no way a man would be able to waste my time that long. Like, that's insane, y'all. Like, that is insane. And it's not to take any accountability off of David, right? Because he ain't shit. But okay, me peeping that David ain't shit, now it's up to me. It's on me now that I get away from this ain't shit man named David, not continue to entertain him and allow him to keep coming back in my life over and over and over again. At that point, I'm the fool. Like, I have to be like, I'm the fool, because I see he ain't shit, but I keep letting him come back and be not shit to me. Like, what sense does that make? So I don't know, y'all. Like, I'm just like, David wouldn't have been able to get a second of my time. So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's getting harder. It is. It's getting harder to have empathy, because women literally have the power to walk the fuck away and you stay. You literally stay. Your feet are not glued to the ground. Like, girl, you should be running in the opposite direction. Stay. And then they weren't even in a relationship. They were not even in a relationship. They were more in like some type of situationship. And you stayed. And how long do you think this was? A year? 6 months? Probably, it sounded like 6 months to a year. Somewhere in there. But girl, I like I said, I'm gonna start a series. I'm gonna title it, Sis, You Didn't Block Him Fast Enough. Because I'll be listening to these stories, and I'm like, damn, she could have blocked him here. 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 Damn, she girl. At this point, I'm thinking like, you want to be a part of this. Like, I don't get it. So I'm thinking about creating a series like that. Because that's crazy. That is insane. That don't sound like no month. That sound like he ghosted her, and then he would like have like a dry, like he'll go through like a dry spell where there's no women around for him to entertain, and then he'll hit her up because she's available. She's curious, and then he'll like do what he want to do with her, probably have sex with her, and then bounce back out here and do what he want to do, then bounce back in. Then that in and out, ladies, that in and out, he don't want you. All right, that in and out, any man that comes into your life, he's in and out, he's confusing you, he's coming with chaos, he gotta go. He don't want you, period. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't make it, don't overthink it. Just block him, sis. And the only reason why he keep coming back is because he thinks you're dumb and easy. and don't. So just block them. It's that simple. Hold on, what was that? No call it release. Facts. Like I don't know, just I don't understand. Yeah, let's start a block movement. You know, let's start movements where you actually have to be proactive, like blocking men when they're creating confusion, or if they come into your life and you find yourself being emotionally imbalanced, blocking him. You know, not allowing men to have access to your womb, like not having sex with them just because they took you out on a few dates. Okay, that don't mean you gotta have sex with them. Like, let's start creating movements where you actually have to be like you're actually doing it. You know, like you're not talking about it, you're actually doing it. You're doing it. You're not talking, you're doing. That's it. You're just doing it. Yeah, I wouldn't come to the internet with that. I wouldn't come to the internet. That's one I would leave in the drafts as well. Okay, I'm sorry, but no. That's crazy. So that's the accountability that I'm talking about. Here's another one. I'm not done. Here's another one. Let me see if I can share it.
Hell. Okay, like when I tell you, I literally just hopped out of a moving car because I was on the date from hell. Okay, like when I tell you, I didn't even wait for this man to pull over. He was over an hour late for our date. Over an hour late to our date. I should have known then to just cancel the shit because you're not respecting my time. However, I overlooked it because I'm like, oh my God, I've known this person since high school, you know, and he's communicating with me, letting me know like, hey, I'm going to be, you know, this amount of minutes late. Like, you know, he's calling me, texting me, letting me know what's up because there's traffic. You know, we live here in LA, shit happens. He's coming off work, whatever. So I was cool with it. I was like, all right, cool. You're being communicative. Like, I'll still continue the date. He comes to pick me up over an hour late. And when I get in the car, we hug. Hey, nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Like, you know, good to see you. Right. And then I let him know, like, hey, like, you're an hour late. Like, next time, like, please don't show up so late because, like, I won't, like, go on a date. Like, I was being firm. I wasn't being a bitch. I wasn't being condescending. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't being aggressive. None of that shit. I was just letting him know, like, hey, I'm a very punctual person. My time is valuable to me. And if you're going to tell me you're going to be here at 6 o'clock, don't show up past 6. Okay, don't show up at especially 7 o'clock an hour later. And do you know that this man turned his car around? It's like, I'm taking you back home. Like, who do you think you are telling me that I can't be late, pick you up to a date? I drove 30 minutes to pick you up and I paid for these tickets and blah, 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 blah. And who do you think you are? Who the fuck do I think I am, sir? Like, this is why they warn you, don't ever date the person that has chased you for a long time, that has wanted you for a long time, because they're usually crazy. I jumped out of a halfway moving car tonight because I could not get away from this man fast enough. And I left his door wide the fuck open and he like busts a bitch in the middle of the street and like peels off. What the fuck is wrong with you, men? Are you seriously mad because someone told you don't be an hour late to picking them up? The woman that you've been chasing for over 20 years finally gives you the time of day. I feel like this is one of those moments where he had it in his mind the whole time to play in my face because he wanted to get back at me from 20 years ago or something. Now, mind you, this is not an ex. I've never done anything to this man. I've never slept with him, never kissed him, never like curved him in any type of way, never played with this man's emotions. But I feel like because he didn't have access to me for over 20 years, when he finally got the opportunity, he wanted to like show me who's boss. Okay. I literally just hopped out of a moving car because I was on the date from hell. Okay. Like when I tell you, I didn't even wait.
Yeah, like I don't know what y'all want. Like I don't know, girl. Cause when you have a take it or leave it mindset, this don't happen. It don't. It don't. I've left dates early. Like I don't care. When you date, detach. So I don't know. Like that, a man being an hour late, that's a no-show, that's a cancel. And I'm not taking that man serious. Like you have to be cutthroat. You know what I mean? Like you can't be nice. Why are you being nice? For what? I don't get that. He would have got blocked too. Sis, you didn't block him fast enough. You need it's like the first sign. It's like, boom, move, like go off of that. There should be no follow-up after that. It should be like block, cool. I don't know. Like I be itching. Like my block finger, it be itching, twitching a little bit like, one wrong move. Block. I mean, because I like my own company. So I like being in my own energy. And if you start to come in and you funking up the energy, you block. Like, I'm not about to deal with that. So I don't know. Women are being too nice. And then coming online complaining, and I'm like, you knew better. I don't get it. So I don't know. And then these are the women that are coming online saying men are trash, men ain't shit, and stuff like that. And then they have the worst experiences when in reality, they could have nipped that shit in the bud when he showed up late. And I'm not exactly waiting. I would be mad even if a friend had me waiting an hour. He could get in touch with me after 15 minutes, block and delete care. Yes, bye. No. I think like women have to have you have to have your deal breakers and you stick to them, and you don't make exceptions. Like your deal breakers are your deal breakers, and that's it. That's final. There's no going back. Like, no, that's your deal breaker. It's a hell no, and you block and you move on. Period. And it prevents these story times. Like it really does. It prevents you being in a situation longer than you need to be. You have your deal breakers. That's it. That's final. It is what it is. But see, I feel like some women are willing to go back on their deal breakers when it's a guy that has a certain amount of money, when it's a guy that looks a certain way. No, your deal breakers are your deal breakers, and it's just that.
As you should. But so no man, right? But are like ladies okay? Are ladies okay? Well, yeah, because you're not doing this with any men or anything. But I'm assuming you still sometimes want to have a little fun.
Is this whole thing a lesbian psyop? Do we fix all of our dating problems that we're facing in the year 2024 by just dating the same sex? I guess we'll see how that plays out. And if you're a woman who's interested in the 4B movement, but you're not quite interested in lesbianism, how about platonic life partners?
No, but don't all straight women already have their backup platonic wife picked out? I know I do. One of my besties and I, we already pinky promised on it. We're both married to amazing men. But if anything ever happens, we want none of what's out there left over. I'd rather be alone. I love me. I love my own company. But you know what's even better than that? Hanging out with a bomb-ass girlfriend, platonic wife, because we're going to have so much fun. We're going to have sleepovers. We're going to eat cookie dough. We're going to do skincare. We're going to watch Housewives. We're going to buy pink fluffy tails. We're going to do whatever the we want to do. But one thing we're not going to do is settle. Ew. Go watch that stitched video. That is premium content. And shout out to the 4B movement. You go, girls. But seriously, have you not picked out your platonic future wife yet? You need to get on that. Snatch a good one while you can. Didn't mean to say snatch, but you know what I mean.
I've joked here and there about my platonic life partner, which is most definitely my best friend, Risa. But baby girl, it's no substitution to a man, a long-term relationship, and building a family. But I think I'm starting to put the pieces together. Where the 4B movement stands for the 4 Bs that women are saying no to in South Korea, I think in the US it stands for girl boss. That's essentially what we're talking about here. We're talking about women leaving men behind, leaving family behind, slaving away to a career instead, and going on vacations and traveling and buying pink pillows for their frilly girl house in Barbie Land where we all live together and frolic in the sun. But what happens when you girl boss too close to the sun, I ask? Just like Icarus, we will fall to our demise. And I must ask the question, if all these women decide to adhere to the 4B movement and we stop having sex with men, we stop dating men, we stop marrying them and building families, you do realize that that stops the creation of future men, but it also stops the creation of future women. You can't exactly have that future is female t-shirt that you wear every Saturday be true if that's going to be the reality. And of course, women are subscribing to the 4B movement in the hopes that men clean up their act, that they turn a corner and come back for the women who left them behind, and they suddenly meet their standards. My advice on that would be to not hold your breath, because some of your standards are delusional, and there are men out there right now who are meeting them, but apparently you're not actually meeting them. Instead of going out there
I gotta stop her. I've watched an extremist feminist movement ruin an entire generation of women's health. Okay. And I'm talking about third wave feminism when it was about the strong, independent woman. I can do what a man can do. When we as women create extremist movements, they always backfire on us and they blow up in our face. Have we not learned anything? That's what I want women to sit and really think about. Because I'm not going to make the same mistake that I watched my mother's generation make, where they had that extremist mindset where it was like, I can do what men can do. right? I can work 40 hours just like men can work 40 hours, and I can take care of a home, and I can raise kids. That play does. You have to be balanced. As soon as you go extreme, you're playing yourself. And you need to learn from the mistakes that women have made before you. That extremist shit never works. It always blows up in a woman's face. Every single time. We can even talk about the sexual liberation movement and how that became extremist. I can have sex with as many men as I want. I can go out and here and have sex with men just like men have sex with women. That played us too, sis. Now we live in a baby mama culture. STD rates and sexually transmitted diseases are at an all-time high. These men don't even want to be committed because they can go out here and get sex from anybody. The extremist shit has played us already. Why would we create another extremist movement? And then you're creating another extremist movement to combat the results of the previous extremist movements that ended up backfiring. When are you going to say enough is enough? Let me just work on myself and just do what is best for me instead of making these extremist movements. Because, okay, we go with the 4B movement. Then what's next? It has to be just as extreme as the last one, right? And the last one, right? And the last one, right? It doesn't make sense. So that's my issue with it. It's like it's extreme and it's been extreme and we keep making it more extreme to combat what we created, the results that we created. It's like at some point, women got to get smarter than this. Like you do. You have to get smarter than this. Because every extremist feminist movement I've seen has backfired. The casual sex, sexual liberation, backfired. Now men, they don't feel like they need to wait for sex. Some of them feel entitled to our bodies. Weird. Some of them feel like because they have easy access to us through dating apps, social media, and just like these online spaces, they feel like they have more options than they really do. Delusional. It's just like with every extremist movement or action that we have made, it has blown up in our face. And I'm just here to just call a spade a spade. And this is just another one of those movements. It's not realistic at all. I feel like it's a group of women that are hurting. And I empathize with you because you're hurting. But it's time to like really sit by yourself and really start doing some self-reflection and really start working on the issues, your past experiences, where you are in life, what you want your future to be. Like, where do you see yourself in 5-10 years? And it's just like you, not like all of these external things, like you as a woman. Like, where do you see your growth? Where do you see yourself spiritually? Where do you see yourself when it comes to your hobbies, things that you're interested in? Like, make it about you, but like, the more extreme you're getting, the more the shit is backfiring. And it's like at some point, you're going to have to take a step back and reevaluate what you're doing. Because I'm like, if we did I'm a strong, independent woman. I can do what a man can do. I can work in the home, out the home, take care of kids, burnout. Okay. Depression, suicidal thoughts. Okay. Then after that, it was the sexual liberation. I can go out here and have sex in the same way that men have sex and live my best life. That backfired. And now this is backfiring as well. So I don't know. I don't know what to think. But I think women need to reevaluate some things because it's starting to just not make any sense. It's just not. It's not sensible. It's not balanced. It's not healthy. It's not realistic. It's not long term. It's not. It's just not.
Into the dating world and seeing what you find. And yes, abstaining from sexual activity and dating with bad men and waiting for the good ones, women are just swearing them off altogether. And they got this advice apparently from women out of South Korea. But now we're actually going to talk about the 4B movement in South Korea. I needed to look into this and see if it was actually taking place. And if so, how big is the actual movement? I did actually find one woman in Korea who's saying that the 4B movement is not as big as American women are perceiving it to be.
Okay, so thank you to my friend Annie for making that video because I am a Korean woman currently living in Korea and I have so much to say about this topic. So most of the 4B movement videos that I've seen on TikTok are made from from foreigners. And I think Korean Americans or just Asian people living in the West, but not actually people living in Korea. So like I said, I live in Seoul. What I think is happening is the Western media likes to really pick up on these sensationalist, provocative topics and then makes it into an article. And then everyone on TikTok follows suit and makes videos about it. But let me tell you, I am 29, going to turn 30 this year. And literally all the conversations that I have with my friends around my age is about, oh my God, we're looking to get married. We need to find good partners and we need to do this before it gets too late or we're just like aged out of their marriage market, you know? And I just made a YouTube video about this, Korea's population crisis, why nobody's getting married or having babies. But I also explained there are services in Korea like marriage matchmaking services where people go and you pay a broker and you submit all this information about yourself, your income, your assets, your family background, if you have any debt, like which university you went to, you submit all that information and then they take that and then they will try to match you up with people who they think that you're on par with. So people go to these marriage services and they're heavily used. There are literally so many in the country because everyone is using them. And so the 4B movement in Korea is a very, very small fraction of the whole Korean population in general. It's just the Western media likes to highlight that part and make it seem like it's the biggest issue in Korea, which it really, really is not. I can promise you that. Don't believe all those sensational articles written online all the time. Most people in Korea still like the other sex. We want to date, we want to find love, we want to get married. Those are like the big majority. And it's only the small group of extreme radical misandrists and extreme radical misogynists. They just seem like the loudest because the most attention goes to them. But yeah, I literally just dropped a YouTube video explaining about this whole thing. So go watch it, Annalie, on YouTube.
So if what this woman is saying is true, American women are getting duped into believing the 4B movement is actually bigger than it is. And it's quite radical in nature, which means American women are taking on a radical movement that is probably not healthy for society just because they read an article out of The Cut or The Atlantic that told them that this was sweeping South Korea. And I did look some of this up to see if I could confirm or deny what it is that she's saying. And there does seem to be a large boom in matchmaking services in South Korea, meaning that both men and women are out there looking for somebody to build a long-term relationship with and hopefully a family. Now, in trying to get numbers about how large the 4B movement actually is in Korea, there are varying estimates. It says the 4B movement as of today could be anywhere from 5,000 members to 50,000 members. And on either side of that scale, the membership is very low when compared to the general population. So instead of stumbling upon some amazing movement that's been taking place in South Korea and bringing it over to the United States to shift to the dating culture where men suddenly let go of their misogyny and sexism, this is more tantamount to like stumbling across NyQuil chicken and spreading the recipe around. This is like stumbling across any sort of horrible trend and then spreading it around for people to harm themselves.
Jacob Stevens died after 6 days on a ventilator. He overdosed on Benadryl, all because of videos on social media encouraging people to take 12 to 14 pills to cause a hallucination.
And what the 4B movement misses is a deeper human truth that yes, people want love. They want to find connection. And more often than not, they want to find that love and connection with the opposite sex. And once they find it, they want to procreate and make families and see little versions of themselves that then go out into the world to build the next generation, to build our future. And I truly believe that no matter how much you inject the culture with this sort of man-hating energy or even misogyny on the other side of the spectrum, people will find this deeper human truth eventually. So yes, you might have a small 4B movement that takes place here.
I've already said it and I'll say it again. Decentering men, I can get behind that 1,000% because it's all about women putting themselves first. What I can't get behind is the extremists. Like I can't get I can't get behind it. I just can't. It's not something I can 100% support. I can support decentering men for the sole purpose of women putting themselves first and doing what is best for them. But I can't do it when the energy is all about like hating men. Like I can't. I can do it when it's all about loving self. I can do it when it's all about putting me first, putting my well-being first, because I love myself. But I can't do it when it's about hating men, hating the opposite sex, hating the male species. I can't do that. I can't. But I can do it out of self-love. I can do it for my betterment. I can do it for my self-improvement. I can do it for my spiritual journey. I can do it for my mental health. I can do it for my sexual health. I can do it for my wants, my needs, my desires. But when it all becomes about hating the opposite sex, I'm not a part of that. Like, I'm just not. I'm not. Because that takes away from me. It takes so much energy from yourself when you have to hate another person. It takes so much energy from yourself when you have to dislike a person. Because you have to go outside of what you're doing to spew that hate or to spew that energy towards another person or that dislike. And then for some women, it's such a strong dislike. Like, it takes so much energy from you that in order for you to spew that, like, it takes so much from yourself. And the whole decentering men, when we don't make it about men at all, even when it's from hating them, disliking them, like, that's still centering them. And this 4B movement is centering men again, in my opinion, because it's really turning into this oh, I hate men, I don't like men, I dislike them. But it's like, why don't you just love yourself enough not to even care what they're doing? Like, not to even care to dislike them, because you would rather preserve that energy to pour into yourself. Like, that's what I can get behind. But it takes so much of you to dislike and to spew hatred to them. And it's like you could be pouring all into you, but when you have to hate, when you have to dislike, you have to give a part of yourself away. You have to give some of your energy away. And it's like you could really be pouring more into yourself. So that's what I'm about over here. I can't speak for other platforms. I can only speak for myself. But I'm just waiting for women to really make it about themselves, because there's peace here. Like, there's so much peace. There's peace. There's grounding. There's falling in love with Mother Nature. There's a deeper connection and understanding with self. There's priorities, right, that involve you. There's love. It's endless. There's creativity. Like, there's light. And then there's some darkness, because life is all about duality. When you're really by yourself, you're focusing on yourself, there's some dark days. There's always going to be some dark days, but there's peace. Like, I want to see women surrendering. I want to see women surrendering to self and pouring more into themselves, and less about these men, less caring about what they think, less about what they're up to. Because now you have men online that are creating like this soft guy era trend now too. Hold on, let me see if I can share it. And now it's like another war.
So I went to Walmart to buy a new headlamp bulb for my car. I'd gone out and I was looking in the manual to see which exact bulb I needed. And some woman came up to me and asked me where the car floor mats were. It's such a major ache I turned, and I yelled at her at the top of my voice, "Do not approach men in public, you creep." Drizzle, drizzle. I mean, such an ick. Oh, major ick today in my soft guy era. So I went to Walmart to buy a new head.
And do you see what happens when you give them your energy? It's just a waste of time. What do? Shoot back at you, and then you shoot back at them. Like, girl, you could be focusing on yourself. The whole time you trying to go back and forth with them, you could be focusing on yourself. You could be doing you could be traveling. You could be creating something. You could be writing a book. I don't know, but like that back and forth, like, y'all, leave me the hell alone with that. I don't care. Okay? I don't. I joke. It's a laugh. It's a kiki. I keep it moving. But really, and when I'm alone, I don't give a damn. I don't know. I don't care, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't. And he felt like he ate with that. He felt like you ate. Or he ate. So I know, and then it is getting weird out here, because I feel like more men are getting petty. They're creating this soft guy era thing. I'm not taking them serious. They're only doing it to mock women. The drizzle thing, they're only doing it to, once again, mock women. And it's just time for women to move in silence, and it's time for you to just focus on yourself and to do what's best for you. The talking, though, I don't even think men are taking you serious. And you want to know why I feel like men are not really taking women serious? The biggest reason? Y'all still sleeping with them. That's why. They still have access to you. They still have access to the cat, sis. That's why they're not taking you serious. Men will never take you serious as long as they get access to that cat. So you can be online all day, retweeting soft girl lives, sprinkle this. But if you secretly out here with a sneaky link, or you throwing that thing in a circle, listen, and then I even see women out here twerking online. Men get off on that. Like, the twerking online, they get off on that. You are aware that they get off on that. But you're beating them to the punch with the sprinkle and the soft girl life, and like, in order for a man to have access to me, like, he has access to you on Instagram, girl. He has access to you. So he has access to you on the dating apps, sis. He has access to you. He's getting enough. You're giving him just enough. So women, like, really, like, if you're serious, you gonna change your ways. You gonna move different. You really are. But if they can pull up a twerking video, girl, they still got off on that in their hand, but they still got off. So that means they still have access to you. Instagram, like whatever you're posting on there, they still have access to you. Snapchat, they still have access to you. The dating apps, they still have access to you. What I would like to see is women being more proactive, thinking before you're posting certain things to social media, like, will this give an illusion to a man that he has access to me? If so, let me not post that. I should delete dating apps because it's making men lazy, and I should make them approach me and offline. So I'm going to delete the dating apps because it's making it too easy for men. Make them work. If I'm a sex worker, I'm going to raise my prices, my subscriptions, because I'm going to make men work to have access to me. I'm not going to be cheap. I'm not going to lowball myself if I'm a sex worker. I'm not going to upload free twerking videos on Instagram. I'm going to make them pay. Like, if women really want to switch up the game, I mean, you can, but I don't think y'all really serious about it because these men still have access to you and they're still able to feed off your energy. And that tells me that women still don't really understand their power. They don't understand their value. If men had limited access to you, they would actually have to work to get your attention. But they don't have to do that. All they got to do is slide in your DMs. All they got to do is watch your twerking video on your Instagram story or on your Instagram profile and then go about their day. That's all they got to do. So I'll, like, when women are truly ready to get proactive, I'll be on board because I support women. I'm just not impressed by the 4B movement because I feel like this is something Black women have been advocating for a very long time because it's literally life or death for us. And for other women, it's like just a trend to them, you know? So I don't know. I'm just not really here for it. But that's all I got, you know, regarding this situation. It's just something to think about. I'm more for decentering men because it's really about women making it about themselves. And because we're all individuals and I want you to live an authentic life, decentering a man can look differently for everyone. It may involve dating a man, it may not. It may involve being married to a man, it may not. It may involve having kids, it may not. But like, you get to choose what you want for yourself by decentering them, not making them like the center focus of your life, your goals, your future, really making you the center of everything. And I can really get behind that and support that 1,000%. But I can't support the let's hate men, let's get back at them, let's one up them. Like, that takes so much energy from you that I can't be a part of that. So yeah, I'm all for centering self and really making yourself the priority and you getting to choose because you have free will on what that looks like. So if you're a sex worker, it may raise them prices. You know, I'm always going to tell you to raise your prices. Like, you know, raise $5, $10, raise your prices. Limit how much you're posting on Instagram, you know, especially when it comes to your body. You know, like, just limit interactions with them. Like, really, like, bring it back. When you go out, you're not worried about meeting a guy. Like, you're worried about having a good time, or you're more focused on having a good time and just being outside and just having a great time. Like, you're not really focused on getting male attention. Like, really decenter them and make yourself the focus and just make yourself the priority and see where that gets us. But that's pretty much all that I have. But I really think the main reason why men don't take women serious when it comes to any of these movements is because you're still having sex with them. Some of you, not all of you, but some of you are still having sex with them. So all the chit chatting online and you still laying up with that man, it means nothing. That's all I got. It absolutely means nothing. So I've been on here long enough. I'm going to go ahead and log out. No, I didn't say the 4B movement is about upping men. The talk online is about upping. It's about one-upping men. Okay? This is why they're responding, and then you're responding back, and then you're responding again. Girl, just go live your life. Log out of social media. Go live your 4B lifestyle, and stop going back and forth with them online, trying to one-up them with, oh, who can have a better comeback? Who cares? Like, live your life the way that you truly desire, and just leave it at that. But like going back and forth with them online, and then you still sleeping with them, it won't make sense to me. It just won't. So I'm logging out. I am still sick. I'm trying to recover. Somebody said Western women could never live 4B. I feel like Black women can. I feel like 4B movement is going to be more prominent for Black women. Honestly. I mean, it's already been more prominent for us anyway. And the reason is because the men in our community, they're not marriage minded. So it doesn't even make sense. Now, other women, like the palm colored women, they're getting proposed to in college. So for them, it may be a little bit of a struggle, you know, but for Black women, just being honest, I don't think it's going to be that hard for us because the men in our community are not marriage minded. They're not family minded. They're not community minded. It's giving every man for themselves type thing. So I don't know. I think it will be a little more easier for Black women when it comes to the 4B movement. I do. Okay. So I don't know. Y'all let me know what your thoughts are. I know this is, again, this was my unpopular opinion. You don't have to agree. We don't have beef. I still love you. But this is just my take on it. But the back and forth though, all that talking, when I go outside, and like the other day I was outside and there were like 3 girls twerking and trying to get attention. Like, if you go outside, it's not matching. Like, the energy online is just like, everybody's fighting each other. Like, women are like, oh, F men, da da da. But it's like, girl, like, as soon as I go outside, I will never forget. This is when I was like, I'm taking myself out of the gender war. I still have the video on my phone. Valentine's Day is the biggest day for women, right? And every day that day comes around, it shows me how women talk out of the side of their neck. Because on that day, it's like this unknowing thing. A woman, she wants to be treated on that day by who? A man. And if she's not treated by a man on that day, she thinks less of herself. On that day. So I'll never forget, I went out for Valentine's Day as a single woman. I went out on Valentine's Day as a single woman. And there was this guy, he was handing out roses to women. Them girls were fighting over those roses to get a rose. Now, why would a woman feel the need to do that? If she doesn't care about men, she doesn't like them, why would women be fighting over getting a rose from a man on Valentine's Day? What's the reason? Every day that day comes around, I get to see how women, how they really feel on the inside. Because they'll sit online and be like, oh, I don't fuck that man. Da, da, da. But when that day comes around, I see the truth behind how these women really feel on the inside. They want to be wanted. They want to be desired. They want to be loved. They want to be cared for. They want nice things done for them from the opposite sex, if that is what they are into. So that day always tells me everything that I need to know. And it also tells me that the chatter online is just online. But when you go outside, I see girls working their ass off. Because when I'm outside and I see a girl twerking in a section, she's not a stripper. She's not she's not a bottle service girl. She's sweating her hair out. It's hot in Houston. She's sweating her hair out. She twerking, giving these men a show for free. Now, why would she feel the need to do that? Why would she feel the need to twerk in front of all these men, right? Her friend, you can see the sweat on the middle part of her back. I can't make it up. Her lace is starting to lift. Edges are starting to lift up. Now, why would she feel the need to do all of that, right? Why would these artists online feel the need to twerk like the whole Megan Thee Stallion challenge? Why would Megan Thee Stallion feel the need that she needs to twerk to sell her new single with Gorilla? She had to start a challenge to sell that song. Why would she feel the need to do that? I mean, our actions is why men don't take us serious. They're not consistent. They're not. So on one hand, it's like, oh, a man can't even come close to me. And then on another hand, you twerking on Instagram. Like, come on now. It doesn't make sense. I'm just being honest, y'all. It does not make sense. And now these modern female rappers, they cannot sell a song unless they are half naked or they're twerking or they start like some type of twerk challenge. Cardi B twerking in the tub. Megan Thee Stallion twerking. What is her name? Lotto twerk. Ice Spice twerk. If the girls ain't twerking, they're not selling shit. They're not making a sale. Why is that? Why is that? They don't even get the support. And then what's even crazier, there's some amazing artists out here that are talented that, in my opinion, don't need to twerk to sell nothing because they're talented, that don't get no love. But as soon as a Megan Thee Stallion, a Cardi B twerking in the tub, or a Lotto twerk, them sales go up and they go through. Now, why would women feel the need to do that? Women are supporting it as well. It's not just men, because women, then they enter the challenge. I've seen several women enter the Megan Thee Stallion challenge to twerk, right? So it's just, I'm just saying, our actions are not consistent. And when your actions are not consistent, you're not respected. And that's the purpose. It's like, you need to have consistency within your behavior for you to be respected, for you to be taken serious. If you have inconsistency, people are not going to respect you. People are not going to take you serious. There is honor in consistency. There is honor in consistently showing up a certain type of way. So on one hand, we got women saying, let's start the 4B movement. And on another hand, we got a twerk challenge going on social media. And who do we know wants to see that more? Women, or is it men? Men want to see that. That's what they want to see. So, and I'm not here to stop women from twerking or anything, because women been shaking ass since before I was born. Shaking ass is not new, and I don't see it ever going anywhere. But that, like, nowadays, it's like we see more of shaking ass than we see anything else. There's an imbalance with it. So I don't know. So when y'all ready to be serious, y'all call me, y'all let me know, because I'm ready. I'm ready to ride. Y'all ready to ride? Let me know. But sis, it's just not looking too bright, because like our actions are not consistent. I'm sorry. And I know I'm not the only one that sees that. Okay, I know. Like we're not consistent. Once we get consistent and we're all on the same page, I would be 1,000% down with that. But if the twerk men aren't for 4B, of course they won't stop. But like I said, like the girls girls will rap lyrics to you about how a ninja ain't this, and then we'll lay up with them the same night. So I don't know. I don't like the lyrics can be, I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need a and we'll lay up with that man later that night. So I don't, it's like women really have to take a powerful stand, and it's going to start with your actions. It can't just be the talking. You going to close your legs, stop having their kids, stop allowing them to have easy access to you, or just shut up. Like, honestly, because like this talking, we're not, there's the reason why we're not being respected is because we're not being taken seriously. We still having their kids. We still having sex with them. We're still allowing them to have access to us. We're still doing things that is for the male gaze. That's why we're not being taken serious. That's why. But there are so many women saying, oh, more women are waking up. The shift is happening. The shift is happening. I don't know. I don't know. Like some days I feel that way. And then some days I don't know. I don't feel like women are taking it seriously. Because we still having their kids. Honestly, like how is that even possible? There was a whole, I saw the Armand situation, and, you know, women were dragging her because she's a single mom now. And I don't really agree with that either. I don't. But women still having babies, though. So I don't know. These men can still have a legacy. They don't have to marry you. They still get their legacy no matter what. And then another thing that I noticed with the fresh and fit situation, this is how I know, like, we as women are not being taken serious. Fresh, like, they're trying to water down abortions now. Have you noticed that? Like, I don't know if you saw the whole thing with Fresh and Fit, but he calls it a Bloody Mary. He'll sit a woman down that he impregnated with unprotected sex, pour her some orange juice, and get the abortion pill and sit there and say, you know, I want to be with you and I see a future with you, but we're not ready for a child right now. We're not. And then as soon as he tells her that and she takes the abortion pill, she swallows it with the orange juice or whatever like that, then the next day or week, he ghosts her. Just like that. And now, like, she has to go through the process of having an abortion. And it's crazy because men are watering down abortions now. They were already watering down pregnancy and the whole experience that we as women go through, the sacrifice that we go through as women when it comes to pregnancy. But now they're watering down abortions. Like, oh, just take the pill. It's no big deal. What? So, like I said, I want to see women make a powerful stance, and it involves your actions and your behavior, and it involves you being consistent, which takes discipline. Because no more sneaky linking, no more friends with benefits, no more baby mama, baby daddy culture. It really solves all of our problems. You know, the STD rates would go down because you're not having sex, right? So there's just a lot that goes into it. No more dating horror stories because you left the first time you saw that he wasn't shit. I mean, there's nothing to come online to complain about because you're not dealing with them. You're not interacting with them. You're not experiencing them at all. But women are still coming online telling their stories because they're still dealing with them. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, it got to be cutthroat. And I don't think women are really ready for what that looks like because it involves you choosing yourself over and over and over and over and over and over again. And when you choose yourself over and over and over and over again, you live a life of solitude. And a lot of women cannot handle that silence. A lot of women can't handle the quiet, the peace. Some women actually like the chaos. Some women actually like the drama. Some women feel like they're more successful in that energy. So I don't think women are really ready. I don't think women are really serious for what that actually looks like because it involves you going home, choosing your bed night after night after night after night after night, and you laying in that bed by yourself night after night after night after night after night, and being content with that. Content. Not necessarily ecstatic or happy, but content because you are choosing yourself night after night after night after night after night. There are some women that cannot handle that. Okay, there are just some women. Not saying it's all women, but there are some women that cannot choose themselves day after day after day after day. So I don't know. And I like the peace, but I know that there are some women that like the chaos. I love the peace. It's I don't know. I just feel emotionally stable. I think that's the best part for me. I feel emotionally stable. I feel my most creative. I have the most energy. This is the most driven I've been in a very long time. I'm excited. I'm optimistic. I don't have a man coming in like draining my energy, bringing in a dark cloud because they're not happy, and then exchanging that energy with them and it affecting me, my life, and what I got going on. I mean, I like the peace, but I know there are some women that they don't like the peace. They like that chaos. They have been functioning off of that chaos for a very long time. So it's hard to break that cycle. It's hard, which is why when you go outside, you don't see the same energy that you see online with women versus when you go outside. When you go outside, you see women with men and you see men with women. You don't see a bunch of just single women outside. You normally see couples. That's what you see. You don't see just a bunch of single men and a bunch of single women. You see a mixture of couples, families, women and men and children. That's what you see. Because it's hard to choose yourself over and over again. It's hard for you to choose your bed over and over again when it's you just laying in it by yourself. It's hard. It's not easy. So I don't know. I honestly don't know what it's going to take. I don't know. And then on one hand, we have the 4B movement, but then we also have the sprinkle lifestyle. There are women out here that are okay with living the sprinkle lifestyle. So I don't know. It's like women are going to have to make a decision, be consistent. But I also partially believe that due to individuality and authenticity, it's going to look differently for us all, which is why we should focus on ourselves. Like maybe you're a sprinkle girl, maybe you're a 4B girl, and I support both women in their decisions. But we have to start being consistent, though, when it comes to self-respect, self-worth, and limiting the access that men have, which is why they feel so entitled. I think that's like the biggest thing. I don't know. Yeah, I see couples outside. I don't see a bunch of single people. I'm sorry. I don't. There are about 4 movements going on right now. That's why I'm like, are we not movement kind of burnt out? I'm kind of burnt out from the movement. I am. I'm ready for women to just live their life and like get offline and go outside and like really experience life for yourself and like cook up some stuff for yourself. Like make your life the way that you want to make it. And this online stuff, it's like keeping you from truly seeking your own happiness for yourself, whatever that looks like. Because we're all going to have different experiences. We're not going to all have the same experiences. And I don't expect you to. I expect for you to have your own experiences. And then I expect for you to live your life according to your own experiences. But living in the past and living based off of what happened to you 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you can't move forward when you do that. Like you can't experience new when you do that. Like you actually have to release those things that you went through from your past. For you to actually have a future, you have to let go of those things. And I'm not saying that you need to forget those things, because those experiences can offer you wisdom on your journey ahead, but you don't need to carry the burdens from those experiences to move forward. Like you have to let it go. And letting it go, it ain't easy because people trigger you. What's the other move? It's Sprinkle Sprinkle, Soft Girl Life, 4B. What's the fourth one? Yeah, I believe movements are just for show too. What's the fourth one? Sugar Daddy? Is it Sugar Daddy? Or Hard Week, Soft Life? I can see that. It's either divesting or probably divestment. Divestment. Okay, so there's out of those four movements, there's three movements that still center men. So I don't know. There's three out of the four that I listed. There's still three that center men. So I would say decentering, that could be 5. So some people are hip to 4B, some people are not. I feel like it's Gen Z that are hip to the 4B movement. There's 7. Okay. I've seen the pasta and lobster girls too. Oh my God, I forgot about that. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't know. I really feel like you need to just log out of social media and you need to reevaluate where you are in life and you need to decide how you want to move. That's it. That's it. And I wouldn't base your decision off of what you read or what you saw online because that takes away from your authenticity. I really feel like you should base it off of who you are, what you want, and your true desires. And be honest with yourself. Be real with yourself. Don't cut yourself short because you don't want to be real. Be real with yourself and be honest with yourself about what you actually want. And then make your decision off of that. But I'm not here to tell you what that decision is. I just gave my opinion on the 4B movement, on this stuff. But at the end of the day, you have free will. Like, you got to make that decision for yourself. Okay? I think the biggest thing that helped me, and I can only speak for myself, on my journey was surrendering to the divine path. And that's where I'm at. All this other shit is just noise to me. It's just noise. But I decided to surrender to the divine, and that's how I'm living my life. And I just so happen to fall into the 4B movement as of today. I don't know if that will be my future. I have no idea. I'm allowing my path to lead me to where I'm supposed to go. But I'm not making any hard decisions. I've decided to surrender and just allow things to flow in my life. That's just where I'm at. I'm not forcing anything. I'm not compromising my wants, my desires, my standards, my self-respect, and most importantly, my integrity. But I've just decided to surrender. It's free, it's peaceful, it's liberating, it's happiness, it's fulfillment, it's contentment, it's healing, it's nurturing, it's TLC. So I do get a little bit of the soft girl life. I just feel more fulfilled this way. But when you can't surrender when you are a part of these movements that are more forceful. So I decided to just be in the flow and to just go with the flow. And the flow right now is, I guess I'm a 4B girl. I guess that's where I'm at. Okay. And celibacy, reframing from sex, abstinence is a part of my journey as well, because it's what I've been called to do. So that's what I'm doing. Just following my internal guidance. That's it. I date now and again. Like I date every now and then, but not consistently. Not consistently at all. Not to be like, oh yeah, girl, I was at the beginning of the year, and then I kind of slowed down a little bit, and then I got lipo, and then I got surgery, and then I went on this date, and I left the date early because I just didn't like it, and I haven't been back on another one since. So, because I get irritated. Like once you start to irritate me, and I'm like, damn, when I was by myself, I was happy. Then I'll go right back to being by myself and be happy again. So I don't know. Yeah. I show support. That's it. I'm not a part of any online movements. I'm not a part of any online movements because, like I said, for me to be a part of an online movement, I would have to lose my authenticity. So I'm an individual, call me an outcaster, a weirdo, whatever, but I'm not a part of any online movements. None, not one. None, honestly. I'm more of an outcaster. Yeah, I got lipo February. Yeah. In February. I'm just saying based off of the 4 no's, I follow in the category of that movement. But no, I'm an outcaster. Yeah, the reason why I took myself away from movements online was because the extremists, I can't get with the extremist stuff. But another reason was because it's not me. Like it's what someone else wants me to be. And when you're an outcaster, you have freedom. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. So I'm doing whatever the fuck I want to do. And based off of me doing that, I follow in the category of those 4 no's. But I consider myself an outcaster. Because as soon as one thing I used to get irritated about when I did join online movements was people always like, it was like controlling. Bitch, like I can do what I want to do. Like I'm sorry, y'all, but that irritates my soul. Like I'm like people try to tell you like what you can and cannot do. Bitch, I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. The hell? So that's why I consider myself to be an outcaster. Like I'm gonna do whatever I want to do and live my life. The whole movements, like people are so controlling. Like they really be like, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't say that. Oh, you can't wear that. Oh, you can't have a relationship with him. Oh, you can't. Damn. Like, is this not my life or is it yours? Which is why this is simply my opinion. You do what you want to do. Because I support women who choose what they want. But y'all, that controlling shit, that shit don't fly. It reminds me of my childhood. I talk about my childhood and how hard it was. And growing up in a sheltered dictatorship household, that shit is just never going to fly with me. Like, I'm never going to be okay with that. I'm going to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, when I want to do it. So these movements, like the girls be too controlling for me. Like they be like, you can't do that. You can't say, I can do what I want to do. You have to do what you told to do. We not the same. Because you following a movement and you got to do what they tell you to do. Me, I'm doing what I want. We are not in like, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not a part of no movement. I'm sorry, y'all. That is not going to fly. That is not going to fly. That dictatorship, like people saying, oh, you not living right. You not living the way that, when you're not a part of a movement, when you're not a part of a group, people can't say that because you are an outcaster. Oh, she on some weird shit. Cool. You'll leave me alone. That controlling stuff, y'all, I can't. I can't. And I refuse to be that type of content creator where I'm trying to tell you, like, girl, if you don't go live your life and do what you want to do and be happy, But my issue with women, though, is they say one thing, but their actions don't match. Everything that I come on here and talk about, my actions, my life reflects the things that I say. I'm not having sex. I don't have any kids. I'm not out here allowing a man to come in and out of my life, wasting my time. The hell am I online preaching to you for? What sense does that make? But that's my issue, y'all. Like that really is. That the movements, they became too much for me, and it was starting to reflect my childhood where it was dictatorship. And that's what led to my depression. That's what led to my suicidal thoughts and dreams and visions and stuff, because I wasn't living the life that I wanted. I was living according to what other people wanted for me. And that's not going to ever fly. And so the movements, they like all of them. I don't care, all of them, from pro-Black to the femininity to even the Black women's empowerment movement, the male bashing movement, all of that shit. Like even the male bashing movement. You have a conversation with a man, or if you're nice to a man, then they be like, why are you being nice to him? Why did you compliment him? Because that's what I wanted to do. But if you're a part of those movements, they really start to police you. Like, oh, you can't say that. You can't wear that. Girl. So this channel is for the outcasters, like girls that are just doing them and doing it the way that they want, however that looks like. I'm not here to tell you to change, who you are. Like, be yourself. I'm here to guide you closer to yourself, which is why I can back up the decentering men, because it's about you finding your true, authentic self. And you can't do that when everything is about male validation. Everything is about getting the attention or the respect from men. Who cares? Like, just live your life. So I don't know. And I just can't get with those. I can't get with those movements. I can't. It's the controlling aspect for me. Like, I'll never forget when I was a part of the femininity movement. You have to stroke his ego. I'm not stroking a man's ego. I don't give a damn about that. Okay? Is he stroking my ego? Did he tell me I was beautiful today? I mean, if it ain't starting off like that, then I'm not stroking his ego. I don't mind stroking a man's ego when he strokes mine, but like that femininity, I didn't like it. I liked it when femininity was about healing, right? Because you will automatically become softer as a woman when you heal, you work on yourself, you release your negative experiences, your past experiences. Like, you really you're loving on yourself more. When it was about that, I could get with it. But when it became extreme and it was all about getting a man and make sure you paint your nails pink, like, girl, I don't want to paint them pink. I like red. I like French tip. I like what I like. I like what I like. This is just my opinion. But when it comes to those movements, it's the controlling. I can't get with that. I can't. I love my freedom. I like to be spontaneous. I like to be unpredictable. I just like what I like. I like what I like, y'all. I like what I like. And I don't know what else to say. And this to me is where I would like women to be. But some women, they feel like they need a movement to be validated in where they stand within themselves. And when you're an outcaster, you don't need societies or any social group for that matters validation. You're an outcaster. You're relying on yourself. You're like, cool, I love it. That's all I care about. Other people can disagree and you don't give a fuck. Why? Because you love it. That's what it means to be an outcaster. But when you're a part of these like spaces online, it's like they try to tell you how to live your life. And then if you're not living in the way that they feel you should, and then you say you're a part of this movement or that movement, then they like try to tear you down and make it seem like you living wrong when really you just living your life. So I can't do that. I feel like every woman should sit with themselves and really decide what they want. And I'm not the content creator that's going to try to tell you what you should want or how you should live. I hope that with my content, that if you don't learn anything from me, your actions have to align with what your goals are. You sit down, you write down your goal. This is how you're proactive. I'm proactive. That talking, I don't like, because I'm an Aries. Girl, all that talking, I could have been done, got done what I needed to get done. So you sit down, you write your goals, you write out what you want. Then you align your actions with those goals. That's how you get the results that you want. It's simple as that. That's how you manifest. If you write down your goals and then you align yourself, you position yourself to receive. You're surrendering to the path, you're surrendering to what's ahead, but you write down your goals and then you position yourself, you align yourself with your actions to receive. Whatever that is, you're going to have to sit down and decide what that looks like for yourself. I'm not here to tell you that. I am not here to tell you that at all. Whatever your vision is, and then I'm not here to tell you what your vision should be for yourself. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, these movements, they take they take away from your authenticity. They do. Like, who are you? Like, outside of these movements, like, do you even know who you are? Do you know what you like? Do you know what you enjoy? And like, for you to really figure out what that is, you have to heal. Because there was a bunch of stuff that I used to say when I was unhealed, and that wasn't me. That was me hurt. But that wasn't me, though. That was me speaking from a hurt place. But that wasn't really me. That wasn't my real desires. Like, I was just reacting to what was done, and I wasn't living from who I really was. And that's part of the reason why I'm always preaching about healing. I'm not preaching about healing just so you can be the perfect girl, like, no, the perfect woman for a man. I'm teaching you to heal so you can find yourself, so you can like really get in touch with who you really are, so that you can truly be authentic this lifetime. So that's what it's really about. But it's these online movements, I can't get with the controlling stuff. That's what it is for me. That's what it is. And me doing what's best for me, like I said, I just so happen to follow in those 4 no's. But that's really it. That is really it. Yeah, everything serves a purpose. I do believe that. But make sure you are aligning yourself with what you truly desire and not get caught up into social media, because you can get caught up into social media and then you walk outside, because a lot of people online don't live the life that they portray online. Please write that down. A lot of people online do not live the life that they portray online. They do not live the life. So don't get played by a person and you so fixated on a movement, and then you go outside and they live in their life. And it's not the life that they sold you. That's why you need to focus on you and what you really like. Because I'm just being honest. I told you, I will say it again. This year, a lot of these content creators, these lifestyle content creators, they're going to get exposed. Like, if they're not really living the life that they preach, they will be exposed this year and either 2024 or 2025. I will say it until I'm blue in the face. So, like, a lot of women are like Morgan from TikTok. You know, she created her entire platform around her baby daddy. Come to find out, she's the biggest pick-me I've ever seen in my life. And Risa Tisa tried to warn you about it. She was like, she fake. She blocked her. And now she got the baby daddy. It don't look like they co-parenting. It looked like she's back with her baby daddy and she's in a toxic relationship. But she was online saying, oh, he ain't this, he ain't that, She got exposed. Funk and Fraud got exposed. So listen, do not get caught up in what people are trying to sell you especially when it's extreme, because a lot of times they are doing the complete opposite. They are doing the complete opposite. Extremist stuff online sells fast. The extremist stuff sells online. Like Fresh and Funk and Fried. I wasn't shocked by that. That man was simping over this beautiful woman, and I knew I knew men that come online with the whole red pill. It's really just a bunch of men that were rejected by women. Right? Like, for whatever reason, they couldn't get the woman that they really wanted. Whether it was because they didn't look a certain way, they didn't have enough money for the woman that they wanted. Right? The hot girl, the baddie. But if they could get the woman that they wanted, they would simp for her. In a heartbeat. They wouldn't even think twice about it. And the reason is because that's what they always wanted. The only reason why they was on here spewing this rhetoric to men was because they couldn't get access to the women that they really wanted. And then when they start getting access to the women that they really want, what do? Simp. Simp. Because if they don't simp, they're going to get what? Rejected. They're going to get rejected. So I don't even know why men were sitting up believing that. I don't, because anytime I would walk outside, anytime I go outside or I'm out, there's always men buying women drinks. There's always a man buying women food, like doing nice things for them. So I just never bought that. We're talking about a group of men that couldn't get access to the women that they really wanted. They had to deal with rejection, and that was something that they struggled with. And so they came online spewing a rhetoric simply because they could not get the girl that they want. And what girl do they want? The girl that's online twerking. They want the Instagram baddie. They want the girl with the middle part bust down, lace front that's laid to the guards. They want that girl. They want that girl. They don't want the girl that is natural. Even though they come online and be like, oh, I want the natural girl. Do y'all not see the women that they choosing? Do they look natural to y'all? No, they don't. They don't. They are all dolled up. They got their nails done. They got their face done. They got their boobs done. Some of them got BBLs. Some of them don't. Some of them just have really nice bodies. They're just really beautiful women, whatever the case may be. But if you actually look at the women that they give their time and attention to, they never look like the women that they describe, that they claim they want. So, and it's crazy because Fresh and Funk, they became simps for the very women that they dog out on their platform. And I'm just like, and a part of me, I'm gonna be honest with you, a part of me feels like their platform, the reason they're getting so much access to these women is because of their platform. So they get the women that they really want by having the platform that they have to invite beautiful women onto their platform, right? And then they get access to those women. Now, till this day, I don't know how they're able to get access to these women, because it's like these women should know better, in my opinion. Like, girl, I know you've seen their content, right? But for some reason, they're still able to get access to these type of women. And yeah, they simp. Oh yeah. This is so true. Kevin Samuels was another one. Kevin Samuels. That's why I was like, y'all, I don't take people online that serious. I'm sorry. They do not live the life that they portray online. I'm just being honest. That's and part of the, and then you got it, like especially the people that flex. They have flexers have something to prove. People who really live in their life, they don't have nothing to prove. So flexers will try to come online and they have to convince you this is how they live instead of just living. Because when I live my life, like, I don't got to say shit to nobody. I'm just living my life. You see it. You're not blind. You can see. But the people that come online and they trying to sell you something real bad, girl, that's because they have to. Them living their life ain't good enough. They got to sell it to you strong, too. They got to lay it on you thick. because they don't really live their life like that. They don't. And I was like, there was this one girl that I followed. I'm not going to say any names, but she is a content creator and she's lifestyle. And I was so disappointed to learn the truth about her life. I was just like, what? Because she was she like motivated me to take my celibacy, refraining from sex journey like really serious. Because she would like post certain things and I'm like, oh yeah. Then I come to find out she's an escort. And I'm like, damn. That sucks. And here I am like really about it. And I'm like, oh, like it was just, I was kind of disappointed. But at the end of the day, I still feel like, and this is why I'm saying, like, make sure, because it shouldn't matter how other people are living their lives. Make sure like you're doing what is truly best for you. Like that's like, make sure you're living your life the way that you truly want and not according to how you think somebody else is living their life and you feel like you need to live like them. Like make sure you're choosing the life that you want for yourself and you're living it the way that you want, because a lot of people that are trying to sell you things online are lying. Just flat out lying just to get a sale, just to get a like, just to get a view, get their engagement up. They know how to say the right things to get the engagement. They know how to say the right things to get their numbers up and things like that, to put more money in their pocket. But I mean, it's hard, walking the walk and talking the talk. It's hard. It's not easy because it made me realize like, damn, like the reason why it's so hard is because it takes self-discipline. And a lot of people don't have self-discipline. And once you get self-discipline down, that's when your life changes. But a lot of people they don't have the self-discipline, which is why it's hard. They struggle with walking the walk and talking the talk. Like Fresh, he didn't have the discipline to be like, oh no, like I'm not going half on you on that Van Cleef. Like, girl, you tripping. He didn't have the discipline because he really wanted her. And so he was willing to ditch his standards to impress this woman or to keep this woman. And he went half in on that Van Cleef. Even though he told his followers, oh, don't you ever simp for a girl. And here he is simping. And I think he paid like, what was it, y'all? Was it $8,000? Big simping. He not even little simping. He big simping. Okay, he big simping. Oh no, I'm not here to be shady. Because y'all, I don't judge her for being an escort. I don't even judge her for living the lifestyle that she really lives. It's just, why not be honest about it? Because like she could still influence people the same way she's been influencing people. Just it would look differently. But I don't know why girls be coming on here lying. Like just be real about it. You'll still get support. You still will get support. It's just people may look at you differently. But it's real though. You don't gotta hide it. It was $15K. Like I said, big simping. He was out here. He wasn't just simping. He was big simping out here. She was big simping. Who's not an escort? I didn't say no names. I don't think he wasted $15K on her. I think he loved her. I think he really liked her. But I one thing that I noticed about these new men today, they're more focused on impressing their friends, their boys, than they are being with a woman. I think he really does like her, but I think he's choosing Fresh and Fit, the platform, and his friends over her, when I think he actually does like her. They don't want natural women. They want the women that they talk down on. Oh, yeah. All of them. From the sex workers, the IG models, the girls that are twerking online. Like, there was a man that was online saying, are these the women that we're supposed to marry and wife? Those are the women that you want to marry and wife. The ones that are twerking online, those are the women that you want to marry. You just don't have access to those women. No, they don't want the lawyer, they don't want the doctor, they don't want the nurse. I think he really loved that girl too. I think he just chose his platform and his friends over her. That's what I think. And I don't know why. Because I never thought I would see the day that single men would keep men single. And he was able, I don't know how, but he was actually able to get access to the woman that he really wanted. And then he denies himself of the woman that he really wants to impress his friends. It's really weird. Oh, no. She's not an escort. The girl that fresh got pregnant is not an escort. She's not an escort. She comes from a really good family. She was in some type of pageant, and she was also a fitness model. She's not an escort. Okay, she's not an escort. I don't know who started that. I think someone started that rumor to try to make it seem like she was trying to trap him with a baby and like make this whole thing about money and everything. But that girl comes from a really nice family, which is why I'm trying to figure out how the hell she ended up with him. Like, girl, how you end up with somebody like that? Because I was on her TikTok. How you end up with a bozo like that? Like, girl, and I'm assuming she comes from a really nice family. So I'm assuming you have access to a different tax bracket of men that don't even need social media to have money. Girl, how you end up with somebody like that? Was it Fresh and Fit that started that rumor? I thought it was them. But no, she's not an escort. She comes from a really nice family. She seems like she's educated as well. She just has she's foreign, so there's like a language barrier, but she can still speak English for the most part. And she seems to be very successful in what she does. I don't know why they started that rumor. I feel like a lot of this is going on online. Keeping men single or keeping people single is the moneymaker right now, which is why I really want women to focus on their own desires and not the rhetoric and the conversation that's happening online. Have your standards, have your boundaries, put yourself first. Don't ever compromise your self-respect and your integrity, and let life come to you. Let life flow. Let life happen. But that is the biggest moneymaker right now. And then it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't add up to what's being said online, because every time I go outside, like go outside today, it's Sunday. There's nothing but couples and families. That's all you will see. You won't see any, you may see a single person sprinkled in like a yellow Skittle, right? But girl, the rest of the Skittle bags are paired up, sis. So I don't know. I feel like women shouldn't get so caught up on that. You got to stay focused on what you truly want, what you truly desire. Me being single right now has everything to do with anytime I allow a man into my personal space, he drains my energy. Like that's just it. He drains my energy. And I'm trying to focus on my goals. And the only way I would allow a man into my personal space is if he's really adding something to it. That's it. So if there is a man out there that is for me, he will fall in my path. I shouldn't have to venture off my path to go seek out this man. He will fall in my path somewhere. Otherwise, it wasn't meant to be. And if it's not meant to be, I'm okay with that. Because if I go off the path, it's always a mess. Like it's just a mess. It's a mess. That's all I see outside. And that's what I'm saying. Like I had to take the more I went outside, because I used to be really super introverted. I'm just being honest. I used to be inside a lot. But ever since I moved to Houston and I just be outside more, it's couples. Like that's all you see is couples. I'm not saying if the relationship is healthy or not. I'm just saying people are paired. That's all I see. So something not adding up. I don't know. Something's not adding up. You know, there's a gender war online, but every time I step outside, it's couples, especially on Sundays. A lot of married people too in Houston for sure. A lot of single married men too, but there's a lot of married people. Okay, there's a lot of married people. So I don't know. I just feel like women you gotta stay focused on what you want. And if you don't want a relationship, then you don't want a relationship. You don't want to have kids, then you don't want to have kids. You don't want to live the white picket fence, then you don't want to live the white picket fence. You don't. Like people feel like I should go out and buy a house. I don't want to buy a house. I don't want to deal with the upkeep. I know it's the smart thing to do. I know it's the right investment and everything, but I don't want to live in a house by myself. I like living in condos. I like having a community. I like talking to my neighbors in the elevator. I like sitting out with them and they out there barbecuing and I'll go out there and sit with them and barbecue and talk. Like live your life the way that you want. It don't have to make sense to everybody else. It's not meant to. I just told my brother this the other day. You have to live your life according to how you want to live your life. And it's not for other people to validate and it's not for other people to understand. You're never going to be happy if you're waiting for people to agree with how you're choosing to live your life. It's not for them to understand and it's not for them to always agree with. It's not. Like, just live your life. You know what else I wanted to talk about too? Have y'all been seeing the trend that I've been talking about how these older women are dating these younger men? I have my own experience. I dated a younger man before. My experience, because I'm not going to keep this up. My experience with dating a younger man, I was 30. He was 4 years younger than me. 4 years. And I had fun. Like, honestly, I had fun. He also practiced semen retention. So it was a sex-based relationship. And I had a great time. Like, honestly, like I had a great time. But I would never see him as a father material, or I would see him as someone that I would want to like actually have a family with. But he was fun simply because he could last longer. He had better stamina. And what else? He didn't have like there was no expectations because it was like, this is what it's for, da 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 da. I could not date anyone younger than the 4 years that I tried because there were points where there was some immaturity and I can't deal with that. So, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with a woman dating a younger man, but too much younger, I don't see how women are doing that. I don't. I don't see how women are doing that. I really don't. Because, girl, there were just some instances where it was like, oh, no. After a while, he got on my nerves. So, I don't know. I think the reason why this is becoming a common thing, though, is because the young girls don't want to date the men or the boys their age. They want to date up. And so because they're doing that, right, there's a trend of young girls dating older men. Now the younger men are dating older women. I think that's why it's becoming bigger and bigger, is because of that. That is why. Like, the younger girls are not interested in the guys their age. They want to date the older guy, whether that's sugaring, whether that's just dating, sprinkle, whatever. And then the younger men are wanting to date the older women. So I don't know. It's crazy. I think that's what the issue is. Girl, that's young enough. 4 years is young enough. I can't do no younger than that, babes. I can't do no younger than 4. I can't. That's why when I be looking at these girls, it be younger than that. I'm like, how? How? At least we were in the same decade, you know, like I could talk about Tupac, he know what the hell I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Or I could talk about certain things and he would still know, he would know something about it. You date anyone outside of your decade? Ooh. Oh my gosh, that's too much. That's too much. I can't go beyond that. But yeah, it's too immature. It's too immature. It's too immature. And then another thing is, I can't relate to, because some women are like, oh, when you date young men don't have money. That's not always true. There are some younger men that are well established financially. It just depends on who you're dealing with. That's not always true. So you could date younger and still date a man that has their financial stability. It's not just older men, but we have to talk about like what age are we really like? 21? Probably not. 22? Probably not. 23? Probably not. I wouldn't say anything younger than 25. But over 25 and he's younger than you, it doesn't mean that he's not financially stable. Some of them do. Some of them are very mature. Some of them have their own thing going on and stuff like that. It just depends. It just depends. Yeah, I think the man he could be young. Age is just, I don't want to say it's just a number because it is important. But just because he's younger than you doesn't mean you shouldn't take him serious. I think it really depends on his maturity level. I think I like older men too, just because they tend to be simpler. Because I've dated, and this is another thing. When you hit 30, because I really feel like for women it's 30. The red pill community, they're gonna tell you when you hit 30, you hit the wall, you don't have no options. But based off of my real life experiences, I have access to the son, the daddy, the brother, the cousin, the uncle, the grandfather, the friend. You literally can, you can date everybody. Honestly, when you hit 30, you literally can date everybody. Okay? That's been my real life experience. I don't know what these men are talking about online. I can't speak for the men. And it's weird because they're trying to tell us women what it's like, but I'm a woman. I have my own experiences. But literally, like, you can date the grandfather, the son, the father, the uncle, the brother, the cousin. When you hit 30, it's like you have like a wide range. Like, you really can't. I'm so serious, y'all. You can really choose who you want to date. Because I've dated as young as 26 and as old as 50. That's just been my experience. The youngest that has ever approached me is 21. The oldest that has ever approached me is I think he was like 52, 53. So I don't know where men got that from. I don't know. I don't know why women are believing that shit. You're a woman, sis. You have your own experiences. But yeah, like, it really can be wide range like that. 26 to like 52, 53, somewhere in there. And I could probably go up, but girl, that's up. Any upward than that, I'm thinking of a heart attack, stroke, and I'm not trying to have that Kevin Samuel special. Okay, somebody just croaking out on top of me. I that would like scare the living shit out of me if I had a man just croak out on top of me like that. So 52, 53 was really pushing it. It was because that's something I would be scared about. But yeah, like that's the biggest lie that's told to women is you won't have any choices. Now, the truth in what they're saying is, will you have kids? That's something that you would need to think about. Okay. But all is fair in this life, right? So you have a biological clock when it comes to children, and men have a shorter lifespan. I don't know why God made it that way. God made it that way. Okay. Because I was going in on the men about, oh, you have a shorter lifespan. Okay, they do. Like, that's facts. It's science. You can look it up. But women have a biological clock, right? So a man has to consider his shorter lifespan compared to a woman. And then women have to consider their biological clock. Just it is what it is. But technically, when you take kids out of it, women can really date wide range. Like, you can date pretty much wide range. It's only when you're considering having kids that you would have to really be concerned about. Okay? That's it. But they straight up lied to you. If you're the type of woman where you're taking care of yourself, you're exercising, like you're moving your body, you're keeping yourself in shape and stuff like that, you're never going to have a hard time getting attention from the opposite sex. And it's so wide range. Like, there's going to be men that approach you of every age group, honestly, every age group. So I think, and I think when you turn 30, I feel like it's so prominent at that age because women tend to be more confident. Once you hit the wall, you tend to be more confident. You tend to know yourself better. You tend to know what works for you. You tend to know what looks good on you. You tend to know how to do your makeup really well. Like, you've kind of settled in to your womanhood and like being a woman. Like, it's your 20s are really awkward, but like when you hit 30, there's like a sense of, oh, I'm a woman. You know, I'm a grown woman now and I feel like a grown woman. Whereas when you're in your 20s, you kind of feel awkward, but it's when you hit your 30s, it's like you're kind of settled in, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think the only reason why they say that is to convince women that they don't have options so that they will settle with some bozo that isn't really worth your time. Honestly. Honestly. The old men that have worms are the men that don't take care of themselves. That's it. I'm 32. To be exact. I'm 32. Y'all, the reason why I say I hit the wall is because I like it here. Like, men try to make it seem like it was like a death sentence or it was like this horrible thing. And I'm like, I like it here. I like that I hit the wall. I'm not mad about it. I look younger at 32 than I did in my 20s because I was stressed the hell out because I was broke. I look younger now than I did then. I could show y'all photos of how I look like I had 2-3 kids, married, and I was like 21. I look way younger now than then. I look worn out. So the only reason why I say I hit the wall is because I fucking like it here. Like, I love it here, honestly. And the reason is because, first of all, because I've heard men talk about women in their 30s. Okay, now if I'm 30, men don't expect shit from me. Right? Like, that's how I programmed it in my mind. Like, oh, well, they won't expect anything from me, so I have nothing to offer, so they're not going to be looking to me for anything. Cool. I'm not mad about that. That's how I look at it. I don't look at it like, oh my God, I've hit the wall. Oh my God, no man wants me. I'm like, no man wants anything from me. Yet I still get approached on a regular basis. Interesting. So I don't know. I like it here. I don't know. I like hitting the wall. And then hitting the wall too is, I don't know, it's empowering because you can do what you want to do, and like no one is like pressuring you for shit. I like it because you're at that age, and I'm talking about even in your family. I don't know about y'all, but like people in my family not looking to me to have kids. Not like they were in my 20s. I felt like everybody was looking at me for a child. You looking at the wrong one. So I don't know. You can hit the wall physically. Everyone hits the wall. It's called aging. But you can still ascend though. Like you can evolve though spiritually. You can become wiser. You can become more enlightened. You can go through an awakening. Like hitting a wall is so shallow and surface level. So I entertainment out of humor, but realistically, the only way you can hit a wall is if you stop working on yourself, you stop ascending, you stop awakening, and you stop evolving. That's the only way you could truly hit the wall. But I'll entertain it for the sake of my humor. But girl, that's really the only way you could really hit a wall is if you stop working on yourself. That's it. Okay, thank you. Like I really do love it here. It's not a front. It's not me faking it, trying to turn a negative situation to a positive one. I honestly looked older when I was in my 20s, when I was drinking and smoking and popping pills. Yeah, like I looked worn out. That's how I looked. So I look younger now. So do what you want with that information. Okay. And have y'all seen these 40-year-old women though? They look good. Did y'all see Sanaya Latham? She's 50. She looked good as hell. And see, a lot of women, they struggle with accepting this. I don't struggle with accepting this. I used to, but I don't anymore. And the main reason is because if I don't have kids, I will always have this body. Like, that's what it is for me. Like, people are like, so you don't stress about not having kids? No, I don't. And the main reason is because life is all about duality, right? And it's all about choice. I appreciate my mother for sacrificing her body because I exist. But if there's not a man around that I feel is healthy enough to procreate with, I'm not tripping about it because I guess like the catch is I get to keep the body that I have. So I'm not really stressing about that. It's like it's like, it would be nice, but it would also be nice that I would be able to keep the body that I have, So it's kind of like, I don't really care. Like, I'll let whatever happens in the way that's supposed to happen. But I don't want to be a single mom if I can prevent it. That's really it. That's why when these men be talking about kids, I'm like, do you not understand the sacrifice? Because you sound like a man that doesn't understand. Like throwing it up in a woman's face that she doesn't have kids sounds ludicrous to me. Like a woman's heart. I just learned that a woman's heart enlarges when she's pregnant. Damn. So that's how I have created a sense of peace with the idea of me possibly never having kids. I get to keep the body that I want. And I get to look at women like Sanaya Latham that looked great. Tracy Ellis Ross, fabulous. So if I don't have kids, like I have someone I can look to and I'm like, damn, I would look good as hell. I would look so good. Thank you. That is so true. Thank you for the super chat. Yes. Just do what you want to do. Oh, but didn't Angela Bassett have a son? I thought she had a son. It's crazy because I was right. She did an interview where she was saying like what her diet is. That girl, she is disciplined. She don't do dairy. She has carbs. She does carb cycling where she'll have carbs one day and then she'll do high protein and fiber the next day. Oh, she had a surrogate. I did not know that. I did not know that. She looks so good. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's how I've been able to make peace with it. It's like, well, I get to keep the body. I do. I know some women struggle with that. And listen, I think children are beautiful. I think children are definitely a blessing, especially when you make the purpose of having them to make the world a better place. But listen, if there ain't a man available, there just ain't a man available. Oh my. Okay. Yo, girl, when I moved here, yo, girl struggled when I first moved here to Houston. First of all, the food is so good. Okay. Like they season their food here and they don't just season their food. They season it really well. And it is. If you come to Houston, you move here, you got to have a gym membership. Okay. And the gyms be packed, but the gyms don't be packed because we just be trying to look good. The gyms be packed because we be eating good. That's why they be packed. And it was something that I struggled with when I first moved here. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And it's a melting pot. So like there's this African restaurant that I want to go to. And I'm like, man, I gotta hold off. Let me give it some weeks. Let me give it a few weeks. But man, yeah, they season their food well, and then it's all different cultures, and you get to try like different foods, and it's just y'all, it's hard. So you listen, you need a gym membership, not because you're just trying to look good, because you trying to eat, girl. That's why. The food is just amazing. It is amazing. Yeah, like I till this day, I'm trying to figure out how girls be doing brunch like every other weekend. How, sis? Like, how are you doing that? How are you keeping the weight off and doing that? How? How are you doing it? Because y'all, if I go out and I go to brunch, I'm like, I can't do a mimosa because it has sugar in it. So I do just straight Prosecco, right? And then I can't do waffles and fried chicken. The hell? And they sell that everywhere. Like it's fried chicken and waffles. And it be looking so good. I always get the omelet, So brunch is not even fun. I would go out to brunch if I could drink my mimosa and eat my chicken and waffles, but girl, I can't. It's an omelet every time for me. It's an omelet and some bacon, maybe. And then I try to either get fruit or vegetables, and that's it. Brunch is not fun for me. Okay, because listen, Houston, you really do gotta be disciplined when you come here because my God, they got everything. Y'all think the girls are doing Ozempic? I don't know, y'all. Like when I had my lipo and I popped back up online, I was like, damn, that's what these Instagram models be doing, and they be lying to y'all. They be lying. Cause listen, I went, got my lipo. I could have easily popped back up online, like, how y'all doing? Obviously, I look a little different, right? And not say nothing. And I think that's what these girls be doing. Because listen, you can go get some lipo, heal up in 4 weeks, and be right back outside and not miss a beat. Not miss a beat. So I think that's what the girls be out here doing. They go get some lipo and be back outside like they never left. Ooh, shrimp and grits too. Fire. Can't have that. I love me some shrimp and grits, but I can't even I used to put sugar on my grits. Ooh, miss it. But yeah, like, no, like they be getting lipo. I'm telling you. They be going and getting lipo. They go and I'm here to tell you firsthand that they are going and getting lipo. Okay. It was so easy for me to go back to my life. It was not hard at all. And I didn't have to tell y'all. I could have kept it a secret. Didn't have to tell nobody. You would have never known. But I can't do y'all like that because I think about my younger self and how I believe gimmicks, and I was like so insecure about my size. So I can't do my younger self like that. It ain't even about y'all for real. It's about my younger self. Like I can't betray my younger self. Like, girl, like, no. I remember when I was like 11 and I believed the gimmicks of Proactive. I believe the gimmicks when it came to like these airbrushed magazines. I believe the gimmicks when it came to these like weight loss programs. I can't do y'all like that. So your girl went and got lipo. I didn't do my stomach. I did my arms. I did my knees. And I did my inner thighs. That's what I went and got done. So, and I have no regrets. Yeah, girl, I got fat. I got them turkey leg knees. You know, like the if you from the South, you know what I'm talking about. Like the knee that the fat that be around your knee. I got that lipo too. No, it wasn't painful to me. It wasn't painful at all. I think the most painful part about lipo is the massages. The massages are gonna hurt. But girl, I don't know about y'all, but I have not had a procedure done yet that was worse than my menstrual cramps. So I don't know. I may have a high tolerance for pain, but nothing is beating my menstrual cramps. Like, girl, you could do lipo. Nothing is beating the menstrual cramps. And also the reason why I did lipo was because I wasted $4,000 on what is it called? Cool sculpting. Don't waste your money, girl. You might as well just go get the lipo. And the reason I wanted the lipo was because it was the areas, like, it was like I had particular areas on my body where I couldn't lose it. Been in the gym for 11 years. I could not lose it. Now, I got my arms done because I wanted my skin to be tight. And that's the reason why I got my arms done, because they used a laser. And when they used the laser, it like tightened my skin more. And it made my arms appear smaller. So I really did like that. And then I got my thighs and my knees done because nothing I did worked. Like nothing. Running, sprinting, walking, Stairmasters. The areas were just hereditary. They were just hereditary. So I got those areas lipo. My inner thighs was a huge one, and the fat around my knees was a huge one. So that's what I got done. Then I think I spent $12,000 in total, including my inner thighs, my knees, my arms. I think I spent about $12,000 plus for every massage. It was $100, and I needed like 15 massages. That's the thing that hurts. Massages hurt. Massages hurt the most. But outside of that, that's what I've done. I'm still undecided about if I'm going to get my stomach done or not. If I were to get my stomach done, I would want to get it done for the traction the same way my arms tightened when I got the lipo. I wouldn't mind getting my stomach done for the same reason, but I don't feel like my stomach looks bad. No, I went right here in Houston. Yeah, and I completely understand where you're coming from. I used to be the girl that, this was probably before I did keto, but before keto, I used to be the girl that would wear a jacket all the time. I remember those days. I would wear a leather jacket, or I would wear a jean jacket to like cover my insecurities with my arms. Without lipo, the thing that really helped me with the size of my arms, like shrink them, was resistant bands, which I'm gonna go back to doing those in the gym as well. I've been inconsistent with the gym because, girl, I had lipo, so I was out for like 4.5 weeks, and then I got sick. So I just got a new gym membership. So I'm about to be back in there thick. But those resistant bands are going to shrink your arms tremendously. Like that worked a lot for me. A lot. Because my arms before the lipo, they weren't bad. It's just I had a little bit on the back part, and that's the part that I wanted gone. I wanted my arms to look very like slim. So he was able to help with that. But he didn't take too much fat. It was more so just like making my skin tighter. So I wouldn't have like the saggy arms. Where did you go? I went to I don't even know what the name of sadly, I don't know the name of his facility. I think this is the name of his facility. I went to Dr. Rodriguez here in Houston. He's Black. He's about 60. He's older. But my results are bomb. Like, I'm so excited. I'm excited to go back to the gym and really like tighten myself up more. For sure. So I want to say, yeah, I don't waste your money with the cool sculpting. It didn't work. The skin, I also tried skin tightening treatments. I think it was radio frequencies, skin tightening treatments. That didn't work. I tried lipo shots. That didn't work. Girl, do not waste your money. Okay. What else did I try? I did lipo and then I did the B12 shots. That didn't work. I want to say that's it. That's really it. Yes, like I took vitamin D, omega-3s, magnesium, vitamin K. I feel like I'm forgetting one. A multivitamin, potassium. I think that's it. But right now, like my current weight is 194. This is the smallest I've ever been in my life. Well, I can't say it's the smallest I've ever been in my life, but this is the smallest I've been since, shoot, probably 20 years. I feel like supplements are helpful when it comes to your body functioning in a certain type of way that is going to support your weight loss journey, but it's not going to help you lose weight. Berberine is a supplement that I use as well for hormone balancing, insulin resistance. Berberine is like natural Ozempic. It's something that I talked about on my Instagram. Berberine is a supplement that is very similar to Ozempic. It has a lot to do with your sugar levels and your cortisol levels. So yeah, I don't really want to lose any more weight. I don't want to go down in size. I just want to tighten up, basically. So I'm going to be doing Pilates and weightlifting. And I've also been looking into, they have row classes. Did you know that? I feel like I would die in a row class, but I've been looking into getting into a row class too. I want to get into a row class. But berberine helped me drop like 16 pounds. I was shocked. Berberine is that girl. It's in my Amazon storefront under supplements, but berberine like really helped me drop like 16 pounds. Yeah, like girl, that's why I'm tired of talking about these damn men. Shit. I am. Like I want to another thing. So I've been revamping my wardrobe and I'm finally at a size that I've been consistent at, and I'm finally at a size that where I feel comfortable enough to invest in myself. So I've been changing up my whole wardrobe, like just cleaning up my closet, like tossing things that just don't really, they're just not me. Like I bought it because it was a trend or a fad. And I'm not following fads or aesthetics. Like, I'm just buying what I feel looks good on me, and it's been fun. Like, this is the fun part of your weight loss. Yes, I am tall. I'm 5'10". So 5'10" for 190 is on the smaller side for my height. Oh, and yes, so my next, because I know I've been MIA, my next workshop, because the 15th is coming up literally tomorrow. I'm going to schedule it for Wednesday, the 17th. Okay. If you're a part of my Patreon and you have been doing the money rituals with us, Wednesday, the 17th is when I'm going to do it. Wednesday, the 17th. Okay. Wednesday, the 17th. The following week, I'm going to start my beginners series after I finish my protection candle work. So like those are two things that I'm going to be working on. I just didn't schedule anything because I didn't know how I was going to be feeling. I'm starting to feel better now, so I didn't want to schedule anything until I was for sure. But the 17th is when I'm going to schedule it. Yeah, like berberine, you have to understand, for every drug that's out here, there's a natural supplement that can replace it. You just got to do your research. So berberine is like Ozempic. It's like Ozempic. That's what I call it. I learned about berberine from a Chinese doctor. And it's from a plant. I forget the name of the plant, but it's an herb. It's from a plant, but it literally does the same thing that Ozempic does. Now, will it work as fast as Ozempic? I don't know. I can't answer that. I can't really answer that. So yeah, it depends on what your preference is. Like, me personally, like I'm good at the weight that I'm at. I just want to weight lift. Somebody said you an outlaw. Yeah, because like I'm not doing what everybody else is doing. And listen, the reason why I call myself an outcaster is because when my life turns out the way that it turns out, which I'm still living my life, so I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I think I'll be like 70, 80 years old, looking back over my life. I want to 100% say that this was the life that I chose for myself. I don't want to blame it on an online movement. Like I want to be confident and be like, no, I chose this for me. That's it. Because I've watched enough videos on TikTok of older women and they regret not living their life the way that they want. They lived it according to what someone else said or what someone else did or this or that. I'm an outcaster because I don't want to have any regrets, and I want to make sure that I live my life the way that I truly wanted, and I'm proud of that shit. Like, I don't want to have no regrets when I'm old. Yes, I do want to get into some fashion vids. Like, I've been shopping. I really should do a try-on haul of tall girl pants because I just did a big order from ASOS to get like some slacks, some linen pants, like some dressier bottoms and stuff like that to kind of like inspire the girls and things. I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but in my past friendships, and I have to say past because it's a breath of fresh air to meet women in my life today that allow me to be myself and allow me to be who I am and not try to control or dictate how I should live my life. My past friendships, I felt like I was never truly accepted. I was only accepted under certain conditions. I was only accepted if I was able to be a partner in crime to certain things that my friends wanted to get into and things like that. But now it's like with me healing from past friendships and betrayals, putting myself back out there, and not allowing myself to stay jaded behind some of my past friendship experiences. I can honestly say, like, I'm around women that truly accept me and value me for who I am. And that's it. Like, they don't try to control anything. Like, they just allow me to show up as myself. And when you have those type of friends, you don't feel the need to try to like fit in with anyone or anything, whether that's online, offline, in your family, outside your family, at work. You just show up. That's it. And you're just living your life from a place of just being true to yourself, being authentic. So I would rather be an outcaster, because anytime I was a part of a friend group or a group in general, like I always felt pressured to show up a certain type of way instead of just showing up the way that I truly am. So I don't miss that. I don't miss that at all. Like it felt limiting. And this is what I'm going to ask the ladies that are listening. Are you limiting yourself when you put yourself in a movement? Like, are you thinking outside of that movement? Because, prime example, like the 4B movement. No, right? That puts a limit on you. Because life is so situational. Life is so unpredictable. You're already saying no. And it puts a limit on you. The reason why I consider myself an outcaster is because I may say yes. I may. Or I may say no. I don't know. But I'm not going to put a limit on myself. Like, I'm not going to determine that before. Like, I would rather be open-minded. I would rather be smart, calculated, make smart choices and decisions, but I still want to be open. You know, like I don't want to be closed off. I don't want to be guarded. I don't want to be like this. I want to be open. I want to be free. Like, that's why I consider myself an outcaster. It's not because I'm trying to be different. It's like, I really want to be free. I don't want to be in a box. I don't want to be in a cage. I don't want to feel limited. So I'm open. That's it. I'm not open to bullshit, but I'm open, if that makes sense. Like, because my block finger, listen, girl, we exercise that pretty frequently. Okay. But no, I don't want to limit myself. I want to be free. And I can't be free if I'm putting myself in a box or in a cage and I'm basing things off of what happened in the past. Because the future could say something different. The future can hold something different. But I'm already limiting myself based off of what happened 5 years ago. And I don't want to do that. Like, that's just my choice. And I don't expect for everyone to agree with that. It's just what I want for myself. Right now, and I'm about to log out, y'all, because I'm gonna have to talk to y'all later. And the reason is because I need to get ready for tomorrow. But also, I've been binge watching Avatar, The Last Airbender. Why is nobody talking about this on Netflix? Come join my frequency. You can join my frequency on Patreon because that's the frequency that we're on. But there are so many gems that are being dropped in this series. Like, I am obsessed. Like, I was already obsessed with Avatar. I was already obsessed with The Last Airbender and everything. But y'all, that is like my show. Seriously? I'm so obsessed. I'm really thinking about doing the animated version. Like, listen, it don't matter. Like, it's not animated. Like, the one that's on Netflix that I'm binge watching right now, it's not the animated version. It's a new series that they have turned into a show, but it's not animated. It's so good. Like, why is nobody talking about how good it is? It talks about all 4 elements that I talked about. And I remember when I was changing how I was manifesting, and I got this download, and it said, you need to use all 4 elements to manifest. So I started using all 4 elements to manifest: fire, earth, air, and water. And I remember when I started to use all 4 elements when I manifested, the things that I was asking for, the things that I was grateful for came quicker to me. So that's why I'm not for the extremist shit, because I know when you're extremist, it takes you out of balance. And you can't manifest when you're an extremist. Like, you can't get downloads. You can't have foresight, proper foresight. You can't, like, you have to be balanced. And that's what the show, it like really teaches you, that things have to be balanced and in alignment, and for things to really to work, like to really be successful. If you're not, like, if you're out of balance, you're out of alignment, like, it's going to offset everything, and it's not going to give you the desired outcome, which is why I can't get behind these extremist movements. And this show, it really confirms that for me. And my birth natal chart is split 20, 20, 20, 20. Air, fire, water, earth. And I think that is so crazy, because that's really how I live my life. Like, like, I could have a conversation with an Aquarius, but then a wild conversation, but then I can have a more grounded conversation with an earth sign. But then I could be on some rah stuff with a fire sign, right? But then I could be on some, I don't know, like some outer space stuff with an air sign. But then, like, I could be on some emotional stuff with a water sign. Like, that's just me. And that brings me into alignment within myself. So it's like, it's the same thing. A lot of girls are still stuck at manifesting with the vision boards. But I'm telling you, game changer. When you start to manifest with all 4 elements, you'll start to see things magically appear in your reality. I'm telling you. And the message is in the show. Like, if you really decode it a little bit, you'll see what they're talking about. You'll see. And if everybody was to balance themselves out, we would vibe high. We would vibe on a higher frequency as a collective, and it would automatically make the world a better place. Which is why, if people would turn inward, the improvement, like everything that you want to see change in the world, it would change overnight. But because we're trying to gather people and everything, the work, it always starts within yourself. And that's what the show is it's all about. That's what it's all about. But a lot of people just don't want to turn inward. They don't want to turn inward. So I love it. What constitutes life worth living? A lot of characters in anime thrive to live lives where they have no. Yes. Yep. Look into it. So that's what I'm on. And because I'm on that wave, I don't feel like I align myself with any of the online movements. I don't. I really don't. I don't. I feel like life is too situational. Life is too unpredictable. And I'm going to continue to live my life like that. But I do have my boundaries, though. I do. I have my boundaries. That's one thing I'm not giving up. My boundaries, my standards, my self-respect, and my integrity. But outside of that, I'm riding waves, you know, and I'm just allowing the energy that I'm aligned with to take me wherever that goes, and not limit myself like, oh, it has to go this way. Like, that's patriarchal. That's matrix activity. When you are free of the matrix, when you are truly free of the patriarchy, you're not about control. Like, you're about flow. You're all about flow, and your body will operate that way. Like, you'll wake up a certain time. You don't need an alarm. Your body will automatically wake up. Yeah, it's that deep. And then when you take yourself out of the patriarchy, you take yourself out of the matrix, you're not eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're not. You may fast half the damn day because your body is not even hungry. It needs water, but like, you're living from a place of, I'm really in tune with self, and I'm in tune with my energy, and I'm in tune with my surroundings, and I have grounded myself to be able to be in tune to the point where I don't need these systematic things to like assist me with where my life is going. And that's kind of how like a lot of these movements are created. It's like, it's systematic, like it's to assist you in a controlling way for you to go or to live your life a certain way. And I'm more so like on a different wave where it's like, not really. Like, I kind of want to ride a wave. You manifest with all 4 elements. Well, breathing. So you could meditate, do some breathing exercises. You could use fire by, you could do candle gazing, which is a form of meditation. And you can try that with deep breathing and also using a candle. You could also get water from a river. You can get water from an ocean. And you could add that to your manifestation. You just create like a sacred place in your home, and you visualize how you want your life to be, and you bring all 4 elements together, and you manifest with it through visualization, through gratitude. The universe, God created the universe. The universe always responds to gratitude. Always. It always responds to gratitude. So when you are manifesting and you have all 4 elements mixed in with gratitude, do you believe in magic? Because I do. I believe in magic. Try it out. And all you're doing, and people, I know, like, I'm not here to take people away from like their religion or anything like that, but keep in mind, God created all things, okay? Literally, all things. It comes down to your intentions. So if you're saying something is demonic, like a snake, God created that snake. Okay? Because like I saw that with Megan Thee Stallion, people are like, oh, she's so demonic. The snake is so demonic. God created that damn snake. You are aware that God created all animals? He created that reptile. Nobody else did. So what makes it demonic? God made it demonic? I don't think God would do that. So think about it. Think about it. Think about it. But I'm telling you, when you bring all 4 elements together and you mix that in with gratitude, that's when you'll see your life change. Seriously. My manifestations used to be so slow. I would script. Scripting is not bad, but it lacks the other 4 elements. So I used to script. I used to write down my goals over and over again. I used to do the vision boards. Things were so slow. When I started working with all 4 elements, with my visualizations, with my vision boards, with my scripting, with my list, things sped up fast, faster. So just look into it. And then earth signs, you can use herbs. Every herb out here has a spiritual meaning. So like basil is protection. Rose petals, love, romance. You can use romance. You can use rose petals. You can use, I'm trying to think, rosemary. Rosemary can also be for love, protection, romance. So listen, the world is your oyster, but y'all so distracted by these men. My God, I'm just like, girl, you could have been done created the life that you wanted already. Seriously. You could have been. The life that I live right now, I created. So I'm in a dream. I'm in a prayer. I'm in a vision that I have for myself. I'm living in it right now. And I would not be, I wouldn't have gotten here if I did not use all 4 elements. So they definitely work. We could also get into some, what are they called? I posted it to my Patreon, manifestation codes. I use that for weight loss and beauty. Cause I was like, I remember when I wrote down I was gonna go get lipo after I wrote down that I was gonna go get cool sculpting, and that was a waste of time and a waste of money. So then I wrote down that I was gonna go get lipo, and I got it a year later. When I was manifesting with the vision boards, girl, it took like 5 years, 6 years. It was so slow. So now I write stuff down. I put it in a gratitude letter prayer. I give thanks to God, my ancestors, and my spirit team. Like, thank you, Boom. That stuff be popping up months later. It does not take long at all. So, I don't know. I need the girls to like focus on something else. And you can also, I've also seen how you can manifest protection. Okay. So I saw how I manifested protection through prayer. I use Psalms. Shoot, is it 119? I use the book of Psalms to manifest protection through gratitude and prayer. And I saw that come to life as well. Okay. Ruled by Saturn, planet of slowness. I can relate to that because I was in my Saturn return for 29 years. That sucked. But it made a lot of sense. It made a lot of sense why my life was the way that it was, which was not easy. Okay. Is it? Oh, Psalms 91. Yep. Psalms 91. I think 119 is wealth or money or something like that. Psalms 91 though is really, really good. So I don't know, like I'm ready for the girls to level up and to get off men for a while. Is manifestation a contradictory to religious beliefs? No, because prayer is manifesting. That's it. The only thing I did was I tweaked my manifestation, my prayer, and instead of asking God, I started giving thanks because I had faith that he was already gonna, he, she, whoever you believe it is gonna come true. Whatever, like I used to, when I grew up Christian, I don't consider myself Christian anymore, but when I grew up Christian, I would ask God, like, God, can I have God? Can you help me with this? Da-da-da. I stopped praying like that. Like that's the Western way to pray. I feel like the true divine connection with prayer is thanks because you have faith. And the way they taught us how to pray when I was in church, it was almost like God never heard me. But when I started praying and just giving thanks, big shit, like shit. It's like your faith has to be stronger, right? So I show my faith through gratitude. Like, thank you, God, for my new car. I don't have it yet, but I know God gonna come through. That's how I pray. I don't pray like, God, can you please send me a new car? I don't pray like that. I thank you, God, for my new car. Thank you, God. That's how I got into this apartment. I was thanking God for this apartment before I got it. I was thanking God that I had reached my weight loss goal. Before I reached my weight loss goal, I was like, thank you, God, for helping me with my discipline. Thank you, God, for helping me get healthy. Thank you for helping me prioritizing my well-being and my health. All I do is give thanks. I don't be asking. Okay? I don't be asking. I give thanks because that's how strong my faith really is. I give offerings when I am giving thanks for what I already have. I actually give offerings. I fast as a way to like show sacrifice, if that makes sense. Offerings were hard for me at first because I felt like I was wasting and I had scarcity mindset. But now when I do offerings, sometimes offerings can be me giving money to the homeless. So if I see someone out in the community in need, I'm giving an offering back. Like, thank you, God, for everything that I have. I'm just giving this as a token of my gratitude. Like, you can give offerings in different ways. You can give offerings to Mother Nature. You can go outside and clean up Mother Nature. You can go outside and give fruit to Mother Nature because that helps the earth. There's so many different ways you can give offerings. This is spirituality, though. It's not really religion. But yeah, like I give back. I don't always just ask. But that is a way that you can get your prayers answered, is by giving thanks and gratitude. But no, like you should also give offerings too. I give offerings through my community. I give offerings through going out in nature. And I also give offerings through sometimes donating my time or helping someone in need. Like there's so many different ways you can give offerings. So many different ways. I'm trying to think what else. Sometimes I will go to a fast food restaurant, pick up like an order of food, and then like take it to a homeless person out in the community that's like walking. Cause I don't know about you, I don't know about anyone else, but in Houston, in the downtown area, there are like a lot of homeless people that are just on the street, and you could like go to fast food restaurant, get them something to eat, and like give them a hot meal just like that. If you don't feel comfortable giving money, because they're literally everywhere. So that's a way that you kind of give back, and it's a way where I guess you sacrifice, but you are giving back, and it's an offering. Your offerings don't have to be just to your ancestors or to Mother Nature. Like you can give an offering through giving back to your community and things like that. I agree. I agree. I don't think anyone should have kids based off of some basic stuff, basic level stuff. But yeah, like you should give back in that way, y'all. You should give back. If you don't feel comfortable giving money, because sometimes I don't know, I don't be feeling comfortable giving homeless people money because I feel like they're gonna use it for their bad habits. So I like to give them food. I would rather give them food. So I would rather go to like McDonald's, Wendy's, or something like that to give them food, because I know some of them will use it for their bad habit. Another way that you can give back too is, what was I about to say? Another way that you could give back is you could donate your time. Oh, service people. So another way that I give offerings is like people delivered my bed, people delivered my dresser, and I tipped them. Like I would give them a 20 or something like that. Like tip. That's another offering as well. And when I tip them like I say, thank you, God, for blessing my life, like in my head. And I'm like, here's a token of my appreciation. You could do it in so many different ways. Like, honestly, valet, like service people in the industry, like people who service you and things like that. When you leave a tip at a restaurant, like you can give offerings in so many different ways. It doesn't just have to be like at an altar or something like that. Like you can actually give it back to people who are truly in need, because we need more people like that. Okay. Food, toiletries. I'm always donating my clothes. Like I just donated a lot of stuff to Goodwill that I don't use, like my clothes. It's women's shelter as well are huge. When I used to get a lot of free stuff online, I used to get back to the women's shelter as well. There's so many different ways you could give back and show your gratitude and your appreciation. I also burn ancestry money as well. I also burn money for myself to give back as well. So there's different ways that you can do it. But no, you're not always asking like, and if you're on your path, that means you're in your purpose. So every day is low-key dedicated to making the world a better place. So it could be you working at a hospital or you're a social worker. If you're on your path, you're on your purpose, you shouldn't feel guilty for asking or receiving certain things because you're on your path, you're on your purpose. You are doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're doing what you're called to do. So yeah, but I do feel like you should do some type of offering to show like gratitude and thanks without asking for anything. So those are different ways that you can practice offerings. It doesn't have to be like just the altar thing. Okay. But gratitude, four elements in gratitude. 4 elements in gratitude. If you don't see magic happening in your life, miracles, magic, it's the same thing to me. I'm gonna be shocked. For real. I'm gonna be shocked. I'm gonna be shocked. So try those things out. I gave you 4 elements. Like I said, you can use herbs, you can use candles, you can use water. Like you can make sun water, moon water, full moon water. You can get river water, stream water. You could get ocean water. You have so many options. All right, I'm logging out. I'm going to save this. I'm putting this on my Patreon. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's day. I'm not keeping this video up. I'm sorry because why am I not keeping this up? I'm not keeping this up because I don't want the 4B stuff on my platform, honestly. I'm not keeping up for that reason. Okay. I think that's the real reason. I am going to save this live though. I'm just going to put it on Patreon, but I'm not keeping this up because like y'all, Black women been doing this. Okay. And I'm just tired of women coming in and making it seem like they done created something new. Especially when Black women were bullied, like literally by our own community because we decided to choose ourselves because we weren't getting the results or the outcomes that we wanted. So I'm just not here for that. I'm here for women though. I'm always going to be here for women, even as an outcaster. But girl, like that's why I'm not here for the 4B movement. It's not because I don't want women to choose themselves. It's because like Black women been doing this and it's just, we were always shamed. We were shamed. We were made out to be something that we weren't. And we were silenced through shame. Okay. So I'm ending it here. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's day. And like I said, I will go ahead and schedule my Patreon money ritual for Wednesday, the 17th, 6 o'clock. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and save this and y'all enjoy the rest of your day.